Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero, and if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube and Facebook for our WWE WrestleMania 39 Night 2 Roundtable review, talking about the second night of the show of shows from Los Angeles, Inglewood, California, SoFi Stadium. And boy, oh boy, what do you want to talk about? You know, this smile on my face means one thing. You see it in the title to the chat. The 1,000 days is coming. I am here with my esteemed colleague. You see him on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, usually for the watch-alongs. He was here last night for the Night 2 watch-along. He is the True Draw, Josh.
Yeah, I'm still recovering from last night. I'm not mad about the main event, by the way. I'm still wearing my Cody shirt, so
there you go.
I'm fine with the result. The finish itself, though, that's what I had a problem with.
It is debatable. We will get into that, and we got some special guests here with us today. First up, I should introduce this man because he's not a special guest. He's been on the YouTube channel and his own channel for the past 73 hours in the last week. He is the ace in the face of the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Romeo is here.
What's up, everybody? What's up, gentlemen?
What's up, Romeo?
The 24-hour king is here with us, and we got special guests. We got from the NWA podcast, Post Wrestling, WrestleNomics, the Professor, Kris Ely.
Hey, what's up, everybody? There's a lot to talk about. That's all I can say.
Indeed, and he is my brother from another mother, from an Ohio mother. He is he is my good friend over here from the FMC podcast, from Fightful main channel, Fightful Overbooked, the busiest man in professional wrestling media, and the headline king, the point god, Jeremy Lambert.
Hello, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. SP3, everybody, appreciate you having me on.
Yes, appreciate you joining us for what is probably our most star-studded roundtable review. I know we have one or two more guests about to join us as well to discuss Night 2 of WrestleMania 39. We appreciate everyone for joining us live here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. If you're watching live, watching on demand, we definitely appreciate you for joining us. Remember to show your appreciation back. Drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, sound off in the live chat. Give us your thoughts on Night 2 of WrestleMania 39. Of course, if you want to feel a little generous, if you want to show some love to what we do here, a super chat donation is the best way to do that. We'll try to highlight as many comments as possible, but your super chat donations is the best way to show your support for the channel and to have your comment highlighted on screen, like the good brother Vala B here with a super chat donation who says, "This is my Starrcade 97 of main event finishes." Well, damn.
Jesus Christ.
He keeping it real. He keeping it real out here in these streets, man. It's fair enough. It's fair enough. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. We got DJ Eric in the chat who says sup THH fam. We got Dolores in the chat who says what's up everyone. We got you my boy Blue saying sup. We also got Daryl Brown who says Triple H is a fraud. It's music to my ears. We got DJ Eric who says hashtag Roman 1000. Yes, and the beat goes on, and the beat goes on. I can't wait to get my t-shirt. Can't wait to get it. We got Chilling with Chase. He says, like Undertaker somehow, I'm up. I know Chase is going to be joining us. He was on the town in Los Angeles, our live correspondent, drunk, interviewing people and asking them why they thought Cody would win because he is a Roman Reigns fan. We also got Vala B saying, sup, Jeremy, showing some love to the point god. We got Chilling with Chase saying, we the 1000. That's the t-shirt, y'all. Just we the 1000. Brilliant. We're already doing it for us. We got Joel Pearl in the chat, Jeremy's best friend, saying, look at that beautiful zombie down there.
Oh, which one?
Boo, Joel Pearl. Boo.
Check out me, Joe Pearl, and Drew. We just finished our live stream talking about the WWE sale getting sold to Endeavor and merging with UFC. That's up on the channel right now. And Vala B with the hashtag of the year, Flawed Paul. Yes, the Flawed Paul movement is growing. It's growing by the day. And we got another super chat donation here from Nate Dog Kanta saying Starcade 97 is a fair comparison. WWE never strikes when the iron is hot. We just got further proof WWE is about the money and not about the fans.
Right.
Folks, it's something I learned and I've gotten used to it. But let's start with Jeremy here. Give us your one word to give your overall thoughts on last night's WrestleMania 39 Night 2. What's the one word to describe your feelings on the show?
Stupendous.
Brilliant. See, this is why he's a writer, folks. Stupendous. Kris?
Kind of expected.
Kind of expected. That is fair as well. Josh?
That is 2 words, but you know.
Yeah, it works. It works. One phrase, one word, still works.
I'm going with so-and-so. Like
so-and-so, that's one word. You just put the dash in between. It's one word.
Yeah.
Romeo.
Fumble.
I think that might be the best one so far. That might be the best one. Mad. Because like I said last night, I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not mad at Triple H. I'm mad at myself because I was fooled. I was fooled to go against my own prediction. I predicted this when Cody won the Royal Rumble, and I went against it. But we're going to get into all of that. We got another super chat donation here from Aubrey James. Thank you so much. Saying Asuka is buried beyond Bianca's title reign is boring. That's fair as well. Thank you for the super chat donation. We're going to get into that as well. Marcus Ryan saying disappointed is his one word. We got Vala B saying flipped, flopped, and fumbled.
He said one word. He keep it 3 words.
One phrase.
Put the dashes in there, Vala.
Yeah.
Put the dashes in there.
Yeah.
And we got Dolores who says confused because why we still doing stupid shit? I mean, we know Jeremy's been writing articles. He knows who's behind the headset, though.
Yeah.
And another super chat donation. You guys are killing it. We're gonna make records with this super chat
on a Monday morning, no less.
On a Monday morning, you guys must have been paid. You probably sold your WWE stock before 7 a.m. So I appreciate y'all sending those super chat donations. Caden is here with us after waking up from being at SoFi last night. I agree with you. The booze for Caden. He says, I hate everything. Everything sucks. Romeo already knows how angry I was last night. I hate this company. Well, damn, Caden. You're too young. You're like 12 years old. You're too young to have that much hate in your heart. What are we doing? What are we doing? Come on. You should be joyous. You went to WrestleMania. You had the weekend of your life. We got Negro Buck who says mixed. That's mine. Well, there you go. That's a good place to start. Let's start from the top of the show from last night. We had another Kevin Hart intro, which I will say he's done a good job with both nights of WrestleMania with his intros. Then we had The Miz and Snoop Dogg once again kicking things off, talking about the new champions from the night before, Rhea Ripley, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. The crowd cheered them, and then Snoop Dogg said to fire it up, and we got into the second night opener, which was a lot like the first night opener, where a top well-paid star got a quick match in against a younger talent and got the F up out of there, as it was Omos, the Nigerian giant, going one-on-one with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar very happy to be here. Brock, this was his 12th WrestleMania match. That's what Michael Cole said on commentary. Lesnar started things off after the big stare down between the two behemoth. He tried to tackle Omos very early on, but Omos just basically tossed this large man, with Lesnar taking a great bump here. Omos blocked Lesnar's offense and then easily scoop slammed him twice. Omos targeted the lower back, which Lesnar definitely sold very well. He had a couple of two rest hold bear hugs in a matter of a 5-minute match. That's quite impressive. Quite impressive. The crowd was definitely behind Brock Lesnar, cheering him on very loud for this opener here. Lesnar fought back. Omos hit a choke slam for a 2 count. Lesnar avoids a charge and then takes Omos to Suplex City. The first one did not get a lot of air, but the second one was very impressive. He hit a third, and then he really sold the back even more after the before the third one, as the crowd was cheering him on. He went for the F5, but he fell under the weight of the work on the lower back, but eventually he counters a choke slam. He hits the F5 for the pinfall win. This one went 4 minutes 55 seconds. The crowd enjoyed the hell out of this, since it was the opener and it was as good as this match was going to be. I gave it 2 stars. I would say more effort here than in the opener of night 1. Chris, what was your thoughts on your arch nemesis Omos versus Brock Lesnar?
It was what I was expecting. I have my 2 co-hosts, Andrew Thompson and Nate Milton, who's going to be on here later, that were predicting Omos to win. Like, what the hell, dude? Come, let's not put ourselves in a position to believe that kind of nonsense. It's what was expected. It's what probably should have happened, and I completely understand why he chose to fight Omos instead of Bray Wyatt, because
Omos black.
Yeah.
He like to beat up black people.
Right.
We all know this.
well, outside of that, it's like he's not gonna have to deal with any hocus pocus nonsense dealing with
Boogly boogly.
Omos, so I expected this. Yeah.
What did you think, Jeremy?
Andrew Thompson picked Omos to win?
Yeah, yes. I don't know what his deal was, but yes.
I gotta have a chat with the GOAT, Andrew Thompson. What is wrong with him? Shout out to Andrew, the absolute best. It was what I expected. I think Steven Jensen called this match like beat for beat. The visual is cool. Brock rules. Absolutely love Brock. His selling of the back was fantastic. Now he goes and to do bull riding events, show up to UFC events under Endeavor, and Omos will be on television, and Hurt Business back tonight on Raw. Everybody tune in.
Hey, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that, even though I've been against the Hurt Business return. At this point, it's just like, what the hell? Got to give the people something. Josh, what did you think about Omos versus Lesnar?
It was a waste of time. I mean, it was a waste of time. Like, what was that? It didn't feel. I mean, it just felt like a Monday Night Raw match. It was just like, this is what you do. Not even a barricade was broken or nothing, you know. And then, you know, I wanted to read a tweet from March 13th from Ryan Satin. He says,
oh, shoot.
He
looked it up.
He says, oh, no. I responded to it last night. I wanted to make sure. I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep this in my notes. And if the match is shit, I'm going to respond to him. Mm-hmm. And he says, some of y'all are haters. Brock versus Omos has potential to be a fun spectacle. Well, that aged very well.
Yeah. Satin gets on my nerves with that kind of. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, honestly, it was just, I mean, hey, granted, the crowd loved Brock. I thought Brock did a great job. He did the best he can. Mm-hmm. It was just a waste of time to me.
That's also fair. Romeo, what did you think?
Yeah, Brock was good. He had his, working boots on. He put in more effort than John Cena did the previous night. Let's say it how it is.
Yeah, that's what I said. This match was better than Cena versus Theory. I'll give it that.
But
look,
Theory,
John
Cena
was told he was going to have to lose in front of a bunch of Make-A-Wish kids. He wasn't about to go out there and work hard. You kidding me? Brock was winning.
Yeah.
I think
Brock had the pep in his step.
I think even though people are down on Austin Theory, I still think Austin Theory got a whole lot more out of this weekend than Omos did. And what was the point?
I disagree wholeheartedly.
What did Omos get? What did Omos get?
What did Theory get?
You'll win at least.
At least that you forget about like the very next day.
He's not going to forget about it. He's going to remind you. He's going to remind you tonight.
And until he gets embarrassed by the next NXT call up.
We'll see. I got my Theory stock. You hold on to your Omos stock. Let's see how
I have no Omos stock.
He's like, I did not invest in that. No. We got another participant into this roundtable review. He is recovered from his WrestleMania hangover. He's wearing the lays. We got Chase Oliver here with us, joining us. Welcome, Chase. How you doing?
My voice is not doing so good, but everything else is great. So,
oh my god,
this man was doing work this weekend.
Sound like you chugged a bottle of NyQuil.
Yeah, I know I do.
You sound like Tony Khan. You don't even have to do an impersonation. Now your voice is in.
Yeah, but you know what? So when I yell, everyone goes like, "Why are you doing an MVP voice?" And it's like, no, I have to talk like this just so that way people can hear me or I can get a voice. So,
oh man, speaking of MVP, he was in the corner of Omos. What did you think being there live for Omos and Brock?
You know, the cool thing about Omos when you see him in person, that's like the whole thing. I felt it was ruined in the stadium. He didn't look that big because I was just like, man, like he ain't that big. But shout out to Lesnar, got the crowd hot. But like Josh said, the match was pointless. Like there was no honestly, I just wish this was a segment. I just wish this was like the MVP, whatever his show is called, and then Brock Lesnar comes and just hits an F5. That's it. That would have been much more suitable and stuff. I felt this was not a good, like a fine opener, but not the right opener. So
that's fair. That is fair. Let me see. We got a couple of comments here in the chat. Keep those comments coming. Keep those super chats coming. We'll try to highlight as many of the comments as possible. But like I said, super chat donation is the best way to do that. Like Aubrey James here, who says, Shane, LOL. I mean, we'll get to that, but that was a difference maker, I will say, and he won tonight too. We got Roxy, who says this was yet another trash ass unnecessary waste of 5 minutes match. I mean, that's a way to say it. You Boy Blue says another pay-per-view, another black man broken by Brock. Lovely. We got a super chat donation from Caden saying Paul deserves to be bald for what he did. Thank you so much for the super chat donation, Caden. Oh man, the heartbreak in the chat is hilarious to me for some reason. I'm sorry. I apologize. We got Soul Brother number 5 saying this is the first time Brock has been a true babyface at WrestleMania, and that he gets to still look strong while fighting Omos due to his size compared to if he had a program with Bray. You're forgetting WrestleMania 19, and don't worry, Brock probably forgets it too due to the shooting star press. So that was the only other one where he was a babyface. We also got. He says Austin Theory had his Make-A-Wish moment. There you go. He got his Make-A-Wish. That was his Make-A-Wish. I got to beat my idol John Cena, and he gets it. You get it, soul brother. Next up, we had the second match on the card, the Women's WrestleMania Showcase. I don't know if it could have topped what we saw with the men's showcase, but the women tried. It went 8 minutes, 21 seconds, so very comparable to the amount of time that the men got on night one. You got Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Shotzi, and Natalya both coming out with the helmets. You had the complaint department of Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, and you had Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Now, if you forget that Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler was in this match, I don't blame you if you saw the match because they weren't in it much. Shayna got injured early on because she removed her boot like midway through the match. And of course, Ronda came in with the arm injury. There was a lot of feature and spotlight for Sonya and Chelsea throughout this one. They had a nice little dive segment where there was a bunch of dives to the outside. Natalya got a good reaction with the double sharpshooter spot. In the end, though, Ronda Rousey came in to take a stunned Shotzi and put her in the armbar for the victory here. Ronda and Shayna coming out victorious despite not doing much throughout this match. I expected this match to be a heatless matchup, and it was a heatless matchup, other than the two spots that I mentioned that the crowd got up for. Jeremy, what did you think about the women's showcase match?
It's fine. It wasn't as good as the men's match. I really like Chelsea and Sonya. They're such a fantastic pairing. I kind of thought they should have won. I figured Ronda and Shayna would win. Ronda gets her victory. Hooray for her. But it was fine. It was a match that existed during WrestleMania weekend. That's about the nicest thing I can say about it.
That's an accurate thing to say too. Chase, you were there live. Or did you have any reaction to this matchup?
I was cheering for Ronda. I'm a big Ronda fan. I was supporting her. Work smarter, not harder. I was saying that the whole time in my section, and she did that. She worked smarter, not harder. She was the only one that got a reaction, though, most of the time for the whole match. Like, everyone else came out, it was like Damage Control's entrance, pin drops. You could hear someone talking about anything else. But when Ronda came out, oh, my God, the fans were booing. They hated this woman. I was like, holy crud. I didn't realize she was that hated. But, you know, hey, they're not going to like her wrestling a full match anyways. Why not just work smarter? It was fine, though. It was better than what I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be just junk, but that was actually fine.
Kris, what about you? What did you think? Was Kris with us? I think he's frozen. He's frozen in time. Ronda Rousey knew he was about to say something and hacked into his Wi-Fi. Josh, what did you think about the women's showcase match?
It was better than I expected. The finish was pretty flat for me. But I mean, it was better than I expected. So, yeah.
Romeo?
Yeah, same sentiment, better than expected. But Ronda and Shayna barely did anything. They just picked up the scraps at the end. And, to me, I'd just rather see Ronda and Shayna challenge for the tag titles, But Ronda's legit hurt, I guess, and can't do anything. I don't know.
Nope. Can't do that. Can't do that. You can't have that. It makes sense to me. Next, let me cut to a couple of comments here. I think Kris is gonna rejoin us after Ronda hacked into his computer. We got Aubrey James with another super chat donation. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. He says women went too long, botches everywhere. I will say the work was very clunky. I gave the match a 1.5. There was effort, but it was just very clunky and not much happened. Other than the sharpshooter spot was the biggest reaction the match got.
Yeah.
We got Roxy who says, holy shit, just kept getting worse. This match was also trash. Crowd was quiet and nobody gave a fuck who won. Yeah, I mean, I thought the same thing would happen with the men's match. That you guys, I know Romeo Josh said is better than expected. It was not better than expected for me. I got what I expected out of this match. It was heatless, it was clunky, and they got out of there.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, my expectations for it was like super, super, super low,
and mine were probably lower.
Yeah, so like, it went past that. So I was like, all right, cool.
I will say during this match, if you heard any noise, is because fans were getting upset because at the SoFi, the Jumbotron kept turning on and off. So if any point you were hearing, yeah, that was because fans were happy the Jumbotron was back on. And if you heard random boos, it's because they turned it off. So just want to keep it clear. There was it happened a lot of times during Bianca and Asuka. So.
Yeah, I heard it more during Bianca and Asuka, like the raw. It was when I think they were on the ground, and right before Asuka reversed it into an ankle lock, which you thought would have got a response. They did a big roar, and I was so confused. I was like, oh, it's probably the Jumbotron. Yeah, I've been at WrestleMania before.
And those 500 sections, you can't see anything. I feel bad for those people.
Kris, what did you think about the women's showcase?
It was there, Ronda Rousey is kind of the hometown girl, and she still managed to, amass a lot of boos, which is fine because she's a heel in this situation. But this was just not a match that I was invested in at all. So I'm glad Ronda got her money,
Got her money and got the hell up out of there. I mean, that's what Ronda Rousey's all about. It's all about the quick, easy payday.
Yeah, it got to the point that everyone said, like, all right, the pre-show is finally over. Let's start this.
These UFC fighters know how to make money. These UFC fighters know, so let's go.
Yeah, they got Brock Lesnar and Ronda Rousey, and it feels like a pre-show.
They ain't paid by the hour. They ain't paid by the hour.
Paid per appearance.
So all week on prediction shows I heard people ask the question, what do you think Bobby Lashley is going to do at WrestleMania? And after I saw Bobby Lashley on the week before on SmackDown when they said he was in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, most of the time I was like, I don't think he's going to do anything. And yeah, that's what we got. He came out. He was introduced as the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. He got to carry a heavy-ass trophy, which even his muscle-bound self had trouble lifting up. He came out in street clothes, which immediately I was like, oh, so he's not having a match. He was all smiles. He soaked in the crowd. But god damn, did you have to feel bad for Bobby Lashley. Anybody else? I just felt terrible. This guy worked his ass off all year to just do this.
There was kids in the section. They were Lashley fans. Every time they got burr, they were like, Bobby's going to fight. Bobby's going to fight. They were so excited. And then afterwards, it went to dark. And then we got like a Judgment Day commercial, whatever was next. And
well, I guess you could say karma came to collect with the person that did get the match time, but I guess we'll talk about that.
Damn.
Kris, he is actually wrong on that.
Well, that's a way to say it. They had Xavier Woods was backstage with Nikki Cross, Tegan Knox, Madcap Moss, Hit Row, and Angelo Dawkins. They ran a simulation of the next coming matchup, which was sponsored by Mike's Hard Lemonade, which was Chef's Kiss sponsorship for what we were about to see. Titus O'Neil was on commentary for the IC.
Can I say something real quick though?
Yeah,
I just wanted to say Madcap Moss from Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner to promoting a video game. That's it.
I mean, he wasn't on the show though. Like, he wasn't on the show then either. He just won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on a SmackDown, and then he got to bump around for Drew McIntyre on the main show on at WrestleMania 38. So it ain't that much of a downgrade in the down set. But yes, Mike's Hard Lemonade sponsored the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and the Intercontinental Champion himself, Gunther. Many people expected this to be a hard-hitting bout and one of the best matches of the weekend. And it delivered just that. This match went 16 minutes, 36 seconds, and boy, oh boy, did these three men just beat the holy ever hell out of each other. McIntyre early on knocks Gunther out of the ring, which allows him and Sheamus to go back at it. Gunther comes back in and returns the favor to Drew. They start teeing off on each other, and Drew McIntyre, I would say, honestly won this chop off. He was hitting the hell out of Gunther. He knew what he was up against, and those lethal chops were just getting big reactions from the fans. Gunther started laying into both men at one point, laying them out, especially Sheamus. He got him up against the ropes and started chopping the taste out of his mouth. His chest was bright red by the end of this chop sequence. Sheamus had the hard hits with the beats of the Bowery, getting in almost 30 on Drew McIntyre. You had Gunther dominating a portion. He gets Sheamus into a Boston Crab, and then Drew comes in and starts kicking him in the face to break that hold up. You get Sheamus with a bunch of offense. He gets the white noise on Gunther at one point. He even hits the Celtic Cross. He locks in a cloverleaf. He hits the bro kick on Gunther and has the win, but Drew McIntyre pulls him out of the ring. I thought this was probably the best storytelling moment of the matchup, where the whole story was about Drew kind of taking this opportunity from Sheamus, and he took the opportunity for Sheamus to finally win the Intercontinental Championship here. We got the face-off between the Beggar Bros. In the end, they start clubbing at each other as the fans are just going wild with "This is awesome" chants. Drew had a moment where he did a dive to the outside. He hits a bro kick on McIntyre for a near fall. They're going at it. Both men get near falls off their finishers, with Drew hitting the Claymore on Sheamus. But then Gunther comes in as Sheamus hits another bro kick. He goes for the cover, and then Gunther comes off the top rope with a big splash. He picks up Sheamus, power bombs him onto the back of McIntyre. He then lifts up McIntyre and delivers another power bomb to him for the 1-2-3. This was amazing. One of the best Intercontinental title matches in WrestleMania history. I would put this above Steamboat and Savage and above the ladder match between Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels, because this was just great in-ring work. It had the storytelling, had an amazingly hot crowd. All the announcers and the crowd were giving them a standing ovation at the end. And for the second time this weekend, I'm going the full boat for a WrestleMania match. 5 stars. This was exactly what I wanted. A perfect slugfest in every way possible. Jeremy, what did you think?
It was, I can't really say much more than you did, SP3. Gunther is so good. I wasn't super worried about him in WWE because he was in NXT UK and everything, and then he slimmed down and stuff, and it looked like he kind of lost that aura, the mystique of Walter that we all kind of grew to love on the independent scene and everything. But he's now transformed himself into just a much more complete and diverse wrestler with all of this. And man, he's fantastic. He's on one of the best runs we've ever seen right now. Drew is great. Sheamus is great. Slightly surprised Gunther won. I thought maybe they would give Sheamus his moment here. Then come to find out, nobody gets their moments on WrestleMania except for Kevin, I guess.
Except for
but yeah, Sammy and Kevin.
Oh.
Yeah, they at least got
night one. Night one, people get their moments.
Night one,
Night
yeah.
two.
Well, John Cena didn't even get his moment. SB3, I'm surprised you said best Intercontinental match, title match at WrestleMania of all time. Savage Steamboat still very high esteem for me, especially during that era. I saw people saying best triple threat match of all time. I don't know if that includes just WrestleMania or just in general. That's a bold statement, but I can't really argue it. Type of match that I really love too. Just guys beating meat with each other. Love it.
Big meaty men slapping meat. That's what I love to see. Josh, what did you think about Sheamus, Drew, and Gunther?
It was great. It was one of the best matches of the weekend. I don't want to say I was more surprised with Drew, but I felt like he was the MVP for the match for me. Just because he did better than I expected. I mean, Drew's great, but it was just more the fact that we already seen what Sheamus and Gunther could do. together. But then when you add Drew, I thought he did a great job when it came to that.
I agree 100%. Kris, what did you think?
I thought it was a good match. This card, all of my predictions came true except for the last match. I just thought, I think Gunther is their new toy that they want to play with at the moment, and I think that he's going to be protected as much as possible until they want to try to move him up to the next level. So I had no issue with this. And I don't know if I'm going to call it the best IC match yet, because then I might be suffering from recency bias. I got to let it settle in. I have a lot of nostalgia bias towards the Steamboat Savage match. So, I'll figure out where this one fits into my overarching view of it.
Chase, what about you?
This was the second best match of the weekend. There's two guys, I don't know if you've heard of them. They're named Commander and El Hijo del Vikingo. That was
another 5-star match for me.
That was probably my match of the weekend, but this match was amazing live. Drew, he finally got back into the Drew McIntyre I remember watching from Impact and ICW, all those when he left WWE, because that was the style that he was wrestling when he left WWE. And I tell people, Drew McIntyre got me back into Impact Wrestling because he used to wrestle so hard hitting. And then he came back to WWE. He went back to WWE Drew, which is fine. He's still great. But this match was just phenomenal. And at the end, they didn't show this. I got teary-eyed. Sheamus and Drew had a moment in the ring. They looked at each other. Drew picked up Sheamus, and they did this huge hug, and the whole crowd just stood up. And I was crying after that because I was very emotional. These two guys, their story, everything. And they didn't win, but they had such a great match, and both of these men knew it, and they just hugged it out. It was great. I wish they showed that on camera. That was amazing live.
That would have been a cherry on top, and it would have been very reminiscent of the standing ovation that Sheamus got after the Clash at the Castle matchup.
Yeah.
Did you see the pic they put on Instagram together?
Yeah, with them laying down right out.
I need a pint.
This is a contract year for Drew, right?
Yes, we had that question in the chat. I know Jeremy does 1,001 Drew McIntyre interviews he has to transcribe. Do you think it's Drew's last WrestleMania?
No, I actually listened to a Drew interview, and he was not asked about it, so somebody can go yell at people for not asking proper questions. He wasn't asked about it. Now I think he says that it's still later in the year. Typically they negotiate closer to when it's up, so I think he's gonna stick there. That's my assumption anyway.
Can I answer that? Listen, Drew, great decision. Do not sign just yet. You see that nice little sale they just did? You see this $5 million bonus Triple H is getting? Let me get some of that money too. Of that money too.
Here's the thing, it's easy to say that, but UFC and Endeavor, they just let people walk when they ask for more money. They literally just let Francis Ngannou be like, nope, we ain't paying you that much. Go see if you can find a better deal elsewhere. So
I think Francis also had a list of demands that Dana White does not want to even come close to.
Well, Dana,
unless your name's Conor McGregor, you stay.
Part of it too is that Dana and Francis just didn't like each other, so it made it very easy for him to just say, "Well, you could walk."
Drew, Romeo, what did you think about the match?
Absolute banger, all-time classic. It never got to the point where you were like, "Oh, hurry up and wrap this shit up." In fact, I wanted more. I wanted it to go to at least the 20-minute mark to rank it even higher among those all-time great matches. But still enjoyed the hell out of it. So much fun. Drew McIntyre, to expand on Josh's point, I feel like as good as he is, I still think he's underrated to people. I don't think people realize how really good he is. And he's got to be a priority for WWE to keep around. I think he's great for them. Pay the man, give him the bag. And this was a wonderfully booked match to make for WrestleMania. After the Gunther and Sheamus classic, adding Drew to the mix was just genius, and it paid off. It paid off in the end.
Yeah, it did. It did. And it was a lot of storytelling as well. I thought that the only thing missing was like the real story investment from that Clash at the Castle matchup, which I thought was one of the greatest IC title match, one of the greatest WWE matches of all time. But I felt like this one had a little bit more of the story, with Sheamus kind of being the glue of everything. So I definitely understood why people thought Sheamus was going to win, because he was kind of the connective tissue with his rivalry with Gunther, his friendship with Drew, and rivalry. But it added more to the matchup. That's why I went the full 5 stars, and the buildup wasn't as bad as other matches I didn't give 5 stars to.
I know, I know they're going to Money in the Bank, London for Money in the Bank. Is there another Clash of the Castle show this year?
That's what I think. I think because Gunther becomes the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion on September 4th. So I don't know how you work it if they do Clash of the Castle Labor Day weekend again. But if they do it in September and it's the after that September 4th, because I have lived 34 years of my life as the honky tonk man, being the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. I need Gunther to erase him from history, take that record, and I would do Sheamus versus Gunther 1-on-1 3 at Clash at the Castle 2, and Sheamus can win there. I would do that.
Honky Tonk Man still got that champagne on ice, just waiting to pop the cork once Gunther loses.
He really is. He's like the Dolphins. We got Nate Milton joining us once again, the godfather of the NWA podcast, Kings of Sports. He's been waiting in the background, but I had to give him a proper introduction. And he come in. He said I ain't talking about those pre-show first 2 matches. I came in for the banger, the 3-way IC title match. What did you think, Nate? And welcome.
First of all, SP3, good to be back with you, brother. I wish it were under better circumstances, because as you and
we're gonna get to it.
It was a tough night for the culture. I know Romeo can see it. It was a tough night. We started the night off with Omos losing to Brock, and then we ended the night with Devontae taking that L. So it was a tough night for the culture. And I didn't even know if I wanted to be here this morning, Sid. But you know, Chris, you and I talked on the show, Chris, about, lessons that my father taught me. My pops taught me back in the day. And one of the lessons my father taught me, SP3, my father said, when I was younger, hard times make for better men. So I'm here this morning to talk about night 2 of WrestleMania. Let's get it. This 3-way for the IC title. It was just as advertised. It was another banger from these dudes. That's all they do is put on bangers. Drew, Sheamus, our boy Slim Walt out here on these streets. I will not call him Gunther. That's Slim Walt to the streets. It was physical. It was, big meaty men slapping meat, as I heard you say earlier, Sid. It was probably, I'll have to go back and rewatch both nights, because I think there was a lot to like on both nights of the show. But it was definitely in the top 3. I'm not sure if it's my number 1 match of the weekend or 2 or 3, but it's in there. And I didn't think that they were going to take the belt off of Gunther, especially after what they did in the main event, because I don't think you take the belt off of Gunther until he's ready to challenge for a bigger title. And he's not in that space yet, because the story is not in that space yet. So it made sense. I wish they would have showed that hug between Drew and Sheamus on camera, because that was one of the more compelling elements of the story. Is these two friends that all they do is fight. All they do is beat up on each other. It's like they like Bobby and Whitney. They love each other, but they can't stop putting their hands upon each other. And so R.I.P. to the great Whitney Houston. But I thought the match was great, man. The crowd seemed really invested in it, and props to the crowd, because I think outside of maybe 1 or 2 matches, they seemed up for everything. Even Brock and Omos, they seemed like they were into that. And so it just made this physical match even better. I wouldn't say it's the greatest IC match of all time. I'd have to go back and rewatch. I'm partial to Savage Steamboat just because of when I grew up, SP3. But this was a hell of a fight, and I really dug it.
Yeah, the crowd popped just for the bell ringing.
They did. They were like, we know what we're about to get, and we're ready for it. They were ready for it with every fiber in their being. Couple of comments I wanted to feature here. Some news in the chat from Frantic World, saying that wow, Jagger Reed and Rip Fowler have requested their releases. I know Fightful just reported that the Grizzled Young Veterans. Isn't this like I heard? Isn't this like more than once that they've requested their releases? You, Jeremy, I know you could probably tell me more than anyone.
I'm looking up stuff on them. I don't recall if they had requested the release before. A lot of people request the release in WWE over the past few years. So I truthfully do not recall.
Yeah, I believe before they got into the schism, it was like, oh, that was like a rumor that people were talking about these IC title match. We got C Peasy, who says this match reminded me of a wrestling match you have with your siblings in the basement when your parents are asleep. I mean that in the most positive way possible too. I loved it. Yeah, you just beat the crap out of your little brother and you make his chest bleed. That's how you do it. We got Soul Brother number 5, who says, I'm calling it now. Gunther drops the IC title against Butch at the Money in the Bank event in the UK. It's payback for when Dunn lost against Walter and thus ended his 700-day reign as UK champ during NXT days. I mean, you're expecting way too much of WWE fans to remember NXT storylines, especially NXT UK storylines and that story. And I don't know who this Dunn is because you're talking about Butch.
Yeah. You're expecting a lot for WWE writers to remember that storyline.
Well, they hired someone for this role, right? A continuing. I don't even know.
Didn't he leave? Didn't that guy walk away?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think didn't he get let go recently?
Oh, did he? Jeez.
Yeah.
How you find a continuity guy?
People forgot that belt existed too. Everyone's like, "Hey, why does Pete don't have a belt?" They didn't even know that belt existed at most of the time. Good looking belt, they didn't know.
He had it in his mouth most of the time. Kaden with the super chat donation. Thank you so much, brother. Saying it's officially hard times, daddy. Indeed. Yes. Nate's like, you preaching to the choir, my brother.
You already know. I had to show up because I already knew this is gonna be a biased panel, Romeo. So I knew you and me had to stand up for what is fair and balanced in this wrestling world, brother.
Yes, Jeremy, you missed yesterday where Nate officially dubbed Romeo Wright. He is the Nick Wright of True Hill Heat, and Charlotte Flair is his LeBron James.
I mean, there's many words. There's many words to describe me. Wright can only be one of them. I agree.
I'm all about that. I love Romeo's love for Charlotte Flair. It pops me so much.
Thank you.
Charlotte rules. I'm with Romeo. Romeo is right.
Yeah.
There you go. More love. More love for
hashtag
Romeo.
bow down. Hashtag bow down.
We got Erica showing love to Jeremy in the chat. We got Daryl Brown saying Joe Gacy in the mud. We got the Big Mirror podcast saying good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the show. We got Zach in the chat who says, I slept on it. I completely trust what Triple H has in store. See, people trust in Triple H. Let's go. Come back to Hunch. And more love for Charlotte in the chat. I know Romeo loves to see that. Loves to see that. I would say that this was probably the best back-to-back matches that I saw all WrestleMania weekend or on WWE shows at least. But this one right here was next for the Raw Women's Championship. It was Asuka versus Bianca Belair. And for the lackluster build, they gave them 2 superstar type entrances with multiple Asukas greeting Asuka, bringing Asuka to the ring with the mask and everything. This was a nice big one, but Bianca Belair topped her, and I think is in the running with Dom and Ray for the best entrance of WrestleMania weekend. And she had the Divas of Compton doing a whole dance routine, and this dance routine hit hard. It went with the beat and everything. They was dropping it, they was crumping it at the right time. Then sister girl, had the contortionist at
Yes.
the end, the little girl who
Better than
Triple H
Bray.
got emotional about in the post media scrum, talking about how she just lost her dad, I believe, or mom,
Their mother.
yeah, her mother. So that's a sad one to learn, but she had a great moment here, bringing Bianca Belair to the ring. This was one of those superstar entrances. I didn't think Bianca would be able to top her entrance last year with the HBIC band bringing her down to the ring, but I feel like this one was even better. And this one, I will say, it started a little bit like something was off about it, but they quickly got into the flow of things, especially when Bianca hit thunderous sit out power bomb on the floor after catching Asuka on there. Asuka would take advantage using her kicks and her speed to get the advantage in this one. She looked for the Asuka lock early, but Bianca got out of the ring. Asuka hit a missile drop kick for a 2 count. They were exchanging moves on the apron, ending with Belair hitting an impressive deadlift vertical suplex that shades of Brian Cage. There you go. Female Brian Cage to go along with female Black John Cena. They went to roll up exchange and submission exchange on the floor. At one point, Bianca, it looked like she was going for a KOD off the top rope, but Asuka was able to fight out of it using her hair to stay on top. Bianca got the advantage with a big old glam slam into the corner that looked really nasty at the end there. Bianca was looking for the KOD, but Asuka would reverse into an armbar as the referee got a distraction. Asuka went for the miss, but Bianca was able to duck. She goes for the KOD again, and she's able to hit it for the 1, 2, 3. The crowd was relatively quiet early on, but they really got into the matchup down the home stretch. I gave this one 4 stars, a really great matchup, and Bianca Belair is 3-0. The new streak is still alive. Nate, what did you think?
Wait, you got the other streak too. Reverse it. Oscar streak.
Oh yeah. That's also true.
We're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that. Yeah.
Stop bringing up old stuff, Romeo. See, I think when I first came on, Sid, I talked about how it was a tough night for the culture. There was one bright spot last night, and that was Bianca Belair, because as you mentioned, like, this isn't the first time she's had one of these great entrances that is a star entrance, but it's also an entrance that is reflective of who she is and her community. And I love that she brought these little girls out there, man, and let them dance and have this moment. And, like you said, Triple H talked about the one girl that lost her mother. And it's just like, you don't know the impact that just something like that night could have on these girls going forward. So I thought that was amazing. And it's another reason, Kris and I talked about this on the last NWA podcast. It's another reason why we're not going to see Bianca Belair turn heel anytime soon, because not only is she somebody that commercially is a viable superstar for the WWE, but doing stuff like this for the kids and doing the Make-A-Wish stuff, like, she's the female John Cena of this generation. And so, I don't see her turning heel for a long time. But in terms of the match, this was another match, much like Charlotte and Rhea on Saturday night, where the build was complete trash. It was garbage. It was unfitting for a WrestleMania program, but we knew once that bell rang, these two were going to put on a damn show. It took a little while, I think, for the match to kind of get into gear and for the crowd to get into it, as you mentioned, Sid. But that final, I'd say, 5 minutes of the match, things really kicked into high gear. Like you just saw, these are two of the best in the world, even if the bookers and the writers don't always reflect that in the storylines. I expected Bianca to retain because I think she's way too hot right now to take the belt off of her. Also, they didn't build Asuka up well enough for a title switch. But the entrances were great. The match was physical. I dug it. It was not quite as good as Charlotte and Rhea, but I still think they went out there and did the damn thing. So I was pleased with it, man. And Bianca is a star and should be treated as such. And hopefully they remember that going forward.
Yes, and give her a proper build to WrestleMania. She got it last year, but the other 2 years that of her 3-0 streak, they haven't. Professor Chris, what did you think about Asuka Bianca?
Yeah, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. When the minute that they made the match between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, I knew the logical thing was they want to keep this belt on Bianca, because if they didn't care about that, they would have just had Rhea Ripley take the belt off of her and that be that. But Bianca Belair, they see a big star out of them. Shout out to the Divas of Compton. I know the coordinator of that. Her name escapes me at the moment, but I remember.
Okay. So you could have been out there on stage last night, then, Chris.
Oh no, not in the condition I'm in. But yeah, so I was happy to see that. I think this was a good feel good moment. I do wish people would kind of put a little silence on the Bianca Belair heel turn. I don't think everybody needs to do that. I think that right now, this is kind of her moment. She's a role model to, a lot of little girls, not just black girls too. I see the little white girls wearing the ponytail and, just going crazy of her. So give her this time, if you want to turn her heel, like later, go ahead and do that. But yeah, this match was just, a great match with little storyline build. Like we've been harping on this all week. But a very, very solid match. I do wish Asuka got a little bit more love. I just don't think she's appreciated the way she should be. But yeah, I was satisfied with this match.
Chase, you there live. What did you think about the match? And was I right in saying sometimes you hear different things being there live in comparison to watching it on TV? Were they relatively quiet in the early portion too?
I was actually talking to the girl behind me. She asked me who I wanted to win, and I said, I don't know. I like both women, and I feel that's what most of the crowd was kind of like during most of the time, because it wasn't like Rhea versus Charlotte, where it's like, okay, most of the crowd wants Rhea to win, and Charlotte, they want to lose. It was kind of like, oh, well, we like both of these women. We don't want either of them to lose. So it was like we were quiet, but then, yeah, I was going to say, you said it. Once that powerbomb hit on the outside, that's when we were like, oh, okay, this is going to be good. During the dual chance of ESC and Asuka, I was cheering for both. I was fine with whoever won. And I feel like that's what kind of hurts this match. Like, I shouldn't be fine with whoever wins. I should have some investment, especially being there live, of, oh, I want Bianca to win. I love Bianca. I woke up, hung over in Nashville, bought a $90 hoodie just to meet her. I love this girl. I tried to force myself to get a picture with Asuka this weekend. Like, I love both these women, but it is what it is. Like, but yeah, it was good. But yeah, crowd, we were kind of just like, we don't know who to root for in this situation. Honestly, I wish this was the match that opened WrestleMania this night, because I felt it would have been a good opener. But with those entrances, you can't open with those entrances. That's just too crazy of an opener. So yeah, but really good match. I just think wrong place on the card.
Probably right about that. We'll go to Romeo, since he's taking the time to respond to people in the chat, because he's seeing people are calling Bianca Mrs. WrestleMania, and he can't have many of that. Romeo, right? Romeo, what did you think about Bianca versus Asuka?
The entrances, I like the entrances. Bianca has such like a feel good baby face theme song. Like, if she ever turned heel, like she can't use that song anymore. And let's stop with the heel turn stuff. Bianca doesn't need a heel turn, but she does need something else. And I think what she needs eventually is to show that she's vulnerable and that she can lose every now and then.
Right.
I think if you keep pushing her so hard like this, maybe you might run the risk of fans turning on her a bit and starting to cheer for the heels, because they want to see something different. It helps when your baby face looks vulnerable, and that way people can buy into them coming back from defeat. You present them obstacles and such. I thought this was a nice spot to do it, to have a title change, to have Asuka have a WrestleMania moment finally. But it appears that struggle is going to continue for Asuka. Maybe that's a story they start telling. She can't win at WrestleMania, can't win the big one. I would have liked Asuka winning here, but the match was enjoyable. And where do you go with Bianca going forward? I guess there's a draft coming up. We could switch things up, but she's dominating everybody on Raw.
Real quick to that point though, Romeo, because I get what you're saying, but to have that vulnerability, we need some good heels. And no shade, but Sonya Deville ain't cutting it. Chelsea Green ain't cutting it. Like where the good heels at, man?
And you got to hang with Bianca in the ring too. We've seen instances where Bianca gets a little upset at her opponent if they're too slow or can't keep up with her. She's that damn good. She's that damn talented.
And I have to say this about Bianca too. She is able to overcome a lot of the corny stuff they've kind of given her and still manage to not get like an astronomical amount of boos. And that's a talent right there, in my opinion.
In itself, definitely.
Two more things I wanted to say about the match. One was there's a horrible production error where they cut to a wide shot while an important move was going on. It's like, what are we doing?
When she reversed into the ankle lock or the knee bar, I remember that. Yeah.
And I like the spot with Asuka spraying the mist and missing. That can't be easy to pull off, but they pulled it off pretty well.
Yes, good stuff. Jeremy, what did you think?
Like Romeo, I like the missed spot, and then the striking exchange that led to it, and then it led it led to the finish, and Asuka's armbar counter, the KOD, Bianca powering up, hitting it, like all of that was great. To kind of everyone's point, I have not seen Bianca heel turn chatter. Maybe I'm not online enough for all of that. I think she is a fantastic babyface. She's always a star. Every single entrance, just a star look, whether it is a big entrance like it is at Mania or honestly just like a normal entrance, especially when they do like the 4K shot of her, everything, like such a star. I do agree she needs some vulnerability. They had that opportunity with Damage Control and she just ran through all of them and it was like, oh, okay, well, and that like destroyed Damage Control too when Bianca's taken out all three of them in a single match, and that didn't help anybody. I would have been fine with the title switch here if it was Asuka, just because Bianca probably does need some type of vulnerability. I understand why they didn't do it, because the build wasn't very good. I think that for Bianca moving forward, it's going to be very fun to see on Raw tonight when her and Rhea Ripley are just like, you have this title and I'll have this title, because Rhea needs to stay on Raw with Judgment Day, and Bianca can go over to SmackDown and she can do the Charlotte Flair feud. So everybody get ready for WWE Raw tonight when they just swap titles like New Day and Street Profits did a couple years ago.
Hey, let me tell you something. Bianca Charlotte, that's WrestleMania. You do WrestleMania with that baby.
And again, like we were talking about this the other day, Sid, like, because she's run through three of the horsewomen already.
Yeah.
Like Sasha, Becky. We don't need, the less said about Damage Control, the better. All that's left is Charlotte. That's all she got to do to take the crown.
Yeah, she's mentioned that really after she beat Becky last year, maybe even after she beat Sasha a couple years ago, she's mentioned like she wanted to beat all of the horsewomen. So Charlotte is what's left. Come on, Romeo, a year-long build for Bianca and Charlotte, and you get it to WrestleMania for next year, and then Charlotte wins, and all the fans are super
LOL. Be careful what you ask for about getting the
They
horsewoman.
don't have enough women for Bianca to hold the title for another year. Like, I've been seeing in the chat.
They do, because she can just beat them all. Who cares?
They say Tiffany Stratton, saying Zoe Stark. I mean, those are all fine and dandy, but you're expecting the main roster to know these people and to get them over. This is like the same thing that happened with Lacey Evans when she got put against Becky after she won the championship. That's not a smart thing to do.
Bianca should just beat Lacey Evans every week for a year, and then until she faces Charlotte Flair next year.
That'd be great. That was great.
Love that booking. Love that booking.
Yes.
We got Kate with a super chat donation here. Thank you, Kate. We appreciate you always showing love to us here. Big one as well. Appreciate that. Saying love you all. Make sure to drink your water and get some sleep. That is all just for Chase. That's all just for Chase.
Oh, I thought that was for me too.
The chat said he sounds like John Laurinaitis. So
I feel like I sound like Doc Rivers after coaching Ben Simmons for a year. So.
That's a good shout right there.
What are you doing, Ben?
Josh, what did you think about Asuka versus Bianca?
I mean, it was a great match. Great entrances, great match. The only thing I would say was that I don't know. To me, it just didn't feel like Bianca was in danger of losing the title. So, I mean, that's why I thought she was gonna win. I thought Bianca was gonna win anyway. I mean, that was the only thing for me. Like, I just felt like there was never really any danger of her losing the title when it came to the match.
Yeah, we didn't get like a lot of like near falls in Asuka's favor, or even like the near submission. I think that the arm bar, she should have kept it on a little bit longer as well. But I loved Bianca powering up out of the arm bar. That was a nice little spot there. We got Soul Brother number 5 who says Asuka was pissed about her character booking on Twitter, but I think it might be for the storyline since it was briefly mentioned on the bump this morning. My prediction, I kind of knew that Bianca was going to win because Soul Brother had another comment here that was the reason why. He said it's kind of tough to have Bianca lose or even turn heel since her and Tez are about to have their reality show coming up, marketing value reasons. Yeah, I that's why I knew Bianca was going to retain, is because she got that reality show that they already started filming. So I was like, nah, he's going to keep the title. But I was expecting them to do the Asuka, giving Asuka the Shinsuke Nakamura booking from WrestleMania 34, where she loses and then turns heel afterwards.
Yeah, and it's really hard in wrestling. I don't think people kind of understand this, to get somebody like very media savvy, like talking across over media. And that is one of the really good things that Bianca Belair is good at. Like, I thought when AEW lost Cody Rhodes, even though he was getting booed regularly, he was the best person in that company talking to like outside media sources. So you really need to be protecting that with Bianca or whoever else is like very, very good at that.
Yeah, and I know Jeremy was telling me last week before FMC, they're putting Bianca out there like she's Drew McIntyre with the amount of interviews she did this past week.
So many Bianca Belair interviews, and she's great. She handles them all like a pro. I wish they'd ask her different questions, but she's fantastic.
I did see the Athletic Ask My Ponytail question that I told you about. I did see that. I think I did see them ask about the ponytail, but not the same way.
They asked about it, but it was the same answer she's always given of just like, oh, who came up with like. They didn't ask like how long it takes to like braid and everything, which was your question, which was really good.
We got Dolores who says Bianca is a great representation for the women's division, but she represents us Black women very, very well every time she steps out. Yeah, that's definitely a fact. This is the best representation of a Black woman that WWE has probably ever done.
No, not probably ever. This is 100% fact ever.
Not since Ronda Rousey.
He knows it. See, Romeo is right sometimes. Brad Smith says,
never forget.
Bianca is amazing and stunning, but her run has been stale lately. Asuka deserves her moment. We also got Nate Dogg Kanta saying another ending I don't agree with. Asuka should have won this. Why change gimmicks and then just lose like that? Did she really change her gimmick, or did she just have new face paint? Because it's been the same Asuka since the Royal Rumble. It's been the same Asuka.
She just has a new look.
And I love that word deserve when it comes to WWE. Like, that's another topic in and of itself, but deserve.
Very subjective.
Yeah.
The new Asuka, it feels a little heelish, but they're not really going all the way with like full heel.
The commentators haven't picked up on it. Like, if this is a new character, then tell me it's a new character.
Yeah,
what we're seeing.
No, show me. Show me
Yes.
it's a new character. They're not. They're telling you it's a new character, but they're not showing.
I don't even think they're doing a good job of telling us.
Yeah,
but the key to this whole thing was it was over after like a week because Chelsea Green got introduced where she gets eliminated, the fastest elimination in Women's Royal Rumble history. Then her first singles match is against Asuka, and she gets most of the offense over Asuka. Then they do the match with Asuka and Carmella. Carmella's been booked like a joke. And she took 75% of that match. They have not booked Asuka in her matches as being a dominant and new character, and that's why it's fell flat.
New Asuka is just Demon Finn Balor. It's just face paint, and that's it.
We'll get to that as well.
I agree, Jeremy.
I got a lot to say about that.
Sid, one last thing about the women, though, because I was thinking about this while watching the tag match, thinking of future challengers for Bianca. And I was like, yo, why is Raquel Gonzalez a babyface? Because I think her and Bianca could tear the house down if she was like this dominant ass heel. Like that's money right there, sitting at the table, and you don't want to pick it up.
And you saw how she did as a heel in NXT. She was great as it. They just her having her smile every week has diluted her a lot. We did see George Kittle again in the crowd, as well as Al Michaels were shown. They replayed Kevin Owens.
Al Michaels didn't know where the hell he was, though.
No, he didn't. They replayed.
Yeah, they just told me to be here. They just told me to be here.
They told me to be here, yep.
They replayed Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn being the Usos from night one. Then Snoop and Miz were in the ring dancing to Nothing But a J Thing, and Miz is probably the whitest dancer that I've seen in quite some time.
You were at my wedding. Come on now. You
and your family got moves. I
was talking about Cassidy Haynes.
Oh yeah, that you got me there. You got me there, sir. Miz announces to the attendance for the show it was 81,395. Now tell me how you had a sold out crowd with 80,000 on night one, but then you were able to get 1,000 and change into the building after every person breathing was counted.
You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie.
70 tickets available for each night.
But wait, it gets worse.
Yes, the weekend attendance came out to 161,892, the most attended WrestleMania.
This is so stupid. This is mostly the same people. What is this number? It makes no sense.
Yeah, math ain't mathing.
WWE for you. We had Miz complain to Snoop about putting him in an impromptu match the night prior against Pat McAfee. Snoop said, "My bad," but Miz didn't like that response. He said this was his city, but Snoop Dogg said that it was his city. And when he said this was our city, and he said when he said "my bad," he meant my bad. And my bad is the returning Shane McMahon. Here comes the money. And Shane got blown up coming to the ring, ladies and gentlemen. So that was already a bad sign of things to come. Shane grabs a mic and he tells the crowd how much their response meant to him since his dad told him he will never get a pop again. Then Shane accepts the challenge. Snoop Dogg says the match is official. We have Shane McMahon versus The Miz 2 at WrestleMania, a rematch of WrestleMania 35, except where was Miz Dad? Come on, Miz Dad needed to show up for this rematch, but this rematch doesn't get far at all as Shane does the AJ Styles sequence of the drop down leapfrog, and I guess he was gonna go for a drop kick, but on the leapfrog he blows out his knee. He blows out his knee. He is injured in the middle of the ring. Referee Jessica Carr and a trainer check on Shane. Snoop Dogg punches Miz in the face and said, "Oh man, what you do to my dog? What you do to my dog, Shane?" And Jessica Carr, I guess, basically tells Snoop Dogg, "Okay, you're gonna have to fill in." He punches Miz again, and then he sets up for the People's Elbow. He delivers the People's Elbow that got more air than his top rope splash in AEW, and he gets the 1, 2, 3. Snoop Dogg is now undefeated at WrestleMania, and he did it for Los Angeles. This was an absolute fucking mess. -5 stars.
Whoa.
-5 stars for this mess, even though Snoop Dogg's improv gets 5 stars. That's the only thing that gets 5 stars. So it balances out to 0 stars. Jeremy, I saw your shock face. What did you think about this?
This Snoop Dogg from night 1 to night 2, the greatest WrestleMania performer of all time. This man was a co-host. He was a manager / driver. He was a matchmaker, and he was a wrestler. No one else in the history of WrestleMania has ever pulled this off. Snoop Dogg absolutely rules. This, I mean, Shane, look, we gotta. What are you gonna say? This is a man who is fallen off Hell in a Cell. He's fallen off this giant structure, the set. He's had his balls zapped and everything by Kane. He's been set on fire and whatnot. And a leapfrog just takes him out. Like, he's like a leapfrog is what takes him out. I hope Shane's okay. It was I popped for Here Comes the Money. Great theme song. And that happened. But Snoop Dogg, Jessica Carr. The stars of WrestleMania. Shout out to Snoop Dogg. All-time performance.
The improv of Snoop Dogg is definitely commendable. He should be considered an MVP candidate for WrestleMania weekend. Romeo, what did you think about this mess?
Listen, Here Comes the Money. Yeah, it gets a nice pop, but who the hell cares? Throw all this shit in the trash, please. We needed none of this. Here's what if you want to have an extra segment, here's what I would have done. LA Knight needed to be somewhere on WrestleMania for the pop, for a promo, have him come out, talk trash, open challenge. Bobby Lashley accepts open challenge. Bobby Lashley versus LA Knight, impromptu. Both guys get a little moment. That's what I would have done, not this horse shit.
That's what many people thought they were going to do, and they didn't expect Shane McMahon to tour his quad like he's his dad at Royal Rumble 2005. Josh, what did you think?
I'm going to read a status that happened literally like 2 minutes before he tore his quad. Shane McMahon be about to lose his life coming to the ring. No cardio conditioning at all. That went very well. I was like, damn. I mean, it's unfortunate. I kind of do agree with Romeo. I didn't care about Shane coming out, to be honest with you. That happened. It was like, oh man. I mean, I hope he's okay for the most part. But I do give props to Snoop. I thought he really improvised at the moment very well, regardless of how ridiculous he looked during the people's elbow. But I mean, hey, props to him. I mean, he didn't have to do it. At the end of the day, he didn't have to do that. And I thought he did very well stepping up in a freaking critical situation. But Miz as well, like the way Miz was pacing around the ring, knowing something happened, he kept in character very well. Like, I thought they did very well when it came to that.
Oh, by the way, one more thing. Of all the great WrestleMania matches of the past, the one thing I really wanted to see again was Shane McMahon and The Miz. Oh my God. One more time, please. One more time.
Once in a lifetime, twice in a lifetime. Chase, what did you think about this whole thing being there live?
Well, one, I got spoiled that Shane was coming back because WWE was still doing rundowns when I got the SoFi. So I heard the whole segment they were doing beforehand, and I heard "Here Comes the Money."
Wow.
So I said, "Wow." Shane, so I got spoiled on Shane coming back and Roman's and Cody's entrances, minus the pyro and stuff like that. So I asked our good buddy Seahawk if he wanted a shot, and me and him got a shot during this. So I didn't even see Shane tear his ACL. I watched it on the replay. I thought that was hilarious, but yeah, no, horrible.
So time out. They're practicing the show while the doors are open?
No. So I got to the stadium around like 12 p.m. and stuff to meet with some friends, and they're still doing the rundown. They're still doing like the practices, and so they were doing the Miz and Snoop Dogg practice, and then later on, I heard "Here Comes the Money," and I was like,
"You can just walk in the stadium and
see?
Outside. You can hear it from the outside. I've been at WrestleMania.
Yeah, outside the stadium. Yeah,
from the outside. Yeah.
Because SoFi is not a completely indoor stadium. It's a hybrid outdoor, indoor. If it was completely indoor, we wouldn't hear shit. But outdoor, we could hear it. So,
Professor Kris, what did you think about this?
First, I'm glad that Shane isn't seriously injured. It sucks. It's bad. I had brain surgery a year ago myself, and I know that road is rigorous. I don't fancy myself as a religious person. I'm agnostic. I don't really believe in anything. But this feels kind of like divine intervention, like some kind of karmic forces out there doing this to Shane. This is just wow, man. Like I was speechless when I saw it. The memes started flooding my Twitter and Facebook as soon as it happened. Yeah, man. I think it's time for Shane to stop trying to be a wrestler tough guy. It's just time. This should be some kind of like sign, like maybe I should stop doing this stuff. I do think the reason why he probably came out there, because now that WWE has new owners, this might have been his last time to come out there and throw his fake punches and all that stuff. So I understand it from that point of view. But yeah, this is horrible. And, God bless Snoop Dogg. I mean, he figured, did something, but yeah, this was just meaningless. It should, like Romeo said, it should have been like a LA Knight, Bobby Lashley segment. This took up valuable time from somebody else who could have used it. I'm not using the word deserve, but could have used it.
And then also, originally, I thought Shane broke his leg, because when you watch the replay, his freaking leg like shifted. Like,
yeah.
I originally thought he broke his leg, because even when he tried to get back up, his leg just completely gave out. So I was like, oh man, I thought it was like the Baron Davis thing again. Like, that's what I thought. And then when I saw he was able to walk for the most part, like when he had to, like when they were walking him back to the backstage, he was actually like moving. So I was like, oh, so he probably tore his ACL or quad and ended up being his quad, like his daddy.
I just got to say to Professor Kris, it was a great day for Laker fans. Snoop Dogg won a match. Lakers got to 7th place. We're a half a game out of 5th place. Laker fans, stand up. We're about to overtake the Clippers for the 5th seed. Nate, what did you think about this whole thing?
We've talked a lot about Snoop Dogg in this particular segment, but the first thing that came to mind watching this match was a line from 50 Cent. And I was like, damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. What the hell happened to you, Shane? But then I sat back, SP3, and I realized, you know what? Father Time is undefeated, even for the great gravity-defying Shane McMahon. Father Time is undefeated, and age takes its toll. So something as simple as just a leapfrog can end your wrestling career on the spot. And it's ironic in a way. Kris is talking about the mysteries of the universe and karma and divine intervention. But back in the day, I don't know if you remember SP3, like the hot rumor was that, once Shane was on the outs with the WWF at the time, he was going to try to get some money up, get some people up, and get the UFC.
Yep.
And so now fast forward, and it's like what Shane wanted has actually kind of come to fruition, but now he's out of commission. Snoop got me just rhyming this week, fellas. But in terms of the actual match itself, I do agree that the time could have been better used by other performers. But that being said, like Snoop stepped up, man, because Triple H said in the press conference after the show, like there are trained wrestlers who can freeze up in that moment where it's like, oh, what the hell do we do now? Like this is not part of the show. And Snoop just flowed with it. You know, probably he was
Yeah.
probably high as hell, so he didn't care one way or the other. But Snoop flowed with it, and to Jeremy's point, man, like he was really the MVP of the weekend in many instances, because we've seen some of these WrestleMania hosts not go so great. Terrence from Florida, we see you, brother. But Snoop was great. This segment wasn't, but you know, hey, they needed a place so they could give us their fake propaganda numbers and bring Shane McMahon back. So I guess this was as good as any.
And a good point here from Marcus Ryan, who says Snoop Dogg got more wins at Mania than Asuka.
Shit.
This is true. This is true.
How many gold records Asuka got? All right.
Another good point. There was a movie add-in tie-in with the next matchup. They did they did the beginning of Brood Ed's entrance. Then they went to the post-Exorcist commercial. Then we actually got a Hollywood star. We've had YouTubers, we've had rap artists, we've had various guests on WrestleMania week, but they had an actual Hollywood star in Russell Crowe do the intro for this match, talking about demons and devils. And then Brood Edge was brought to the ring with the Slayer entrance music, and that was for the Brood Edge as he came up from the bottom with the fire circle. They didn't have Gangrel, which missed opportunity there. Edge then transitioned into his theme song as he came down to the ring to Alter Bridge. Finn Balor had his special entrance, now being the Demon Finn Balor for this match, where he had the old music back with the fans doing the hands up sequence. There was a bit of daylight during this matchup. I think they missed the opportunity with the sun going down. This would have been even better, but they can't do that. And then
Shane was supposed to work a 20-minute match. You know, supposed to kill some time.
Good point. You got me there. Demon Finn, I don't know about y'all. He just came off so fucking goofy. Yes, I don't remember the demon doing all that and all the grunts and stuff. I was like, what is going on? Did Demon Finn Balor become the Fiend? But yeah, he didn't sell much early on. Then the two men, they had color coordinated fucking weapons in this damn matchup where they pulled out a purple kendo stick and a red steel chair. Balor pushed Edge's face into the steel cage, but Edge would eventually get the advantage here. He gets the color coordinated kendo sticks and he sticks the demon between the cage where he does the where he's not selling and stuff. It was just fucking weird. We want table chance, so Edge pulls out a table from under the ring. We get Finn's not selling that he's been hurt until he gets a ladder toss at his fucking head and he's busted open hard way with blood even dripping onto the canvas. They have to stop the match for a full 3 minutes basically as the camera just focuses in on Edge as they are bandage him up. We get Edge with callbacks to other Brood members. He does the Impaler of Gangrel, then he hits the kill switch. He hits an Edge-o-matic, but Balor kicks out at 1. We get more brawling between the two guys. The finishing sequence was good with Balor setting Edge up on a table. He looks like he's going to go for the coup de grace, but then he climbs up the cell to a little perch that they put there, and he goes for the coup de grace, but Edge moves, so he goes through the table. He hits him with the spear Edge, but Balor is able to kick out. Balor he eventually does hit the coup de grace for a 2 count, but that's not enough. Edge then hammers a Finn with a steel chair and with a kendo stick. He then puts the chair underneath Balor and hits him with a concerto. 1, 2, 3. Edge again beats the Judgment Day, and hopefully this feud is over. This match went over 18 minutes. I thought the last 5 minutes or so was the good portion of this, but the pause for the cut, which was a nasty cut, which Balor showed on his social media, so I understand why they had to stitch that up, but it totally took me out of this match. I'm used to Hell in a Cell matches. It's had blood before. let the stuff bleed. You could eventually do that, do a spot, and then let them, stitch him up then. But it just totally took me out of this matchup. The last 5 minutes was good. It was solid. I gave it 3.5 stars for what they were able to accomplish here. But yeah, I can't say this was one of the very good things on this show. Nate, what did you think?
Real quick before I give my thoughts on this match, Sid, I know normally, you running things, man. This is your show. We guests in your house. But I want to take an informal poll. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Where we at, fellas, with this Demon Finn Balor? Because I was always thumbs in the middle. Now I'm thumbs down, dog.
It was a thumbs down here. Like I said, this was the worst Demon Finn, even worse than him losing to a turnbuckle was this. I feel like the turnbuckle took his soul, because that's not the Finn that I remember. Like, this is not the Demon Finn where it was just another part of his persona. He didn't turn into the Fiend. Like, it was goofy.
Yeah, and I feel like the Demon is something that should have been protected. Like, now it's past the point where, like, he's already had a few L's as the Demon. It's like that's supposed to be your ace in the hole. Like, can't nobody beat the Demon. But it's like, I just saw the Demon get beat like 3 or 4 times. So how tough can the Demon really be, fellas? In terms of the actual match, Kris and I talked before when we were doing our preview on the NWA podcast, and I was like, yo, I have never been this uninterested in a Hell in a Cell match going into it. And Kris brought up his favorite, Ray Traylor, the Big Boss Man. And he was like, he even liked the Undertaker Big Boss Man. He was more excited for that back in the day, that Hell in a Cell, than this one. And so we get to the match, and we've got all this Pope's Exorcist gaga around it that it's like, okay, I know, get your money, Vince. I understand. But the actual match itself, they worked hard, but it's also like, I'm already done with this feud, man. Like, I've been done with Edge versus the Judgment Day. It feels like this is a feud that they wanted to culminate at WrestleMania, but they didn't know how to properly space this out. We had the involvement with Beth. We had a lot of stuff going on. We had Rey and Dominic as a side piece to the Edge Judgment Day feud. And then we get this. It was okay, man. Like, I think both guys are great. Finn is underutilized in this role, I feel. Like you, SP3, I do think the stoppage took a little bit of the steam out of the match, but I also think part of that is because of the Demon character. Like, I think if you just had 2 regular dudes fighting and one of them gets busted up, then it's like, okay, yeah, let me, we can take a pause for the cause and make sure this dude is okay. But you the Demon, man. Demons ain't supposed to have feelings. Demons ain't supposed to need to get stitches. Demons don't need anesthesia and I'm all over the place with my medical terms. I'm not a doctor, ladies and gentlemen. Demons don't need antiseptics and antibiotics and whatnot. And so ultimately it was a flat ending to a feud that had gotten stale for me. I know there's some people that really love these type of matches and love Edge and love Finn, and I dig both of those guys too, but it just didn't do a whole lot for me.
Professor Kris.
I motherfucking hated this. Just didn't like it at all.
Talk to him.
Edge, ever since Edge has gotten back, I just never get the impression that he likes being there. I think he's out there to prove that he outworked his surgical issues and stuff, which I can totally relate to, but this was lame and pointless. It was a useless match. This is my worst match of both days of WrestleMania.
Oh, wow. Damn.
I just didn't like it. I had time to go argue to my dumbass neighbor for parking in our spot in the building that we live in, and come back to the house.
No idea why this is so funny, yo.
And to come back to the house, and this match was still on, and it lasted for another 15 minutes.
Kris had a whole street fight in the parking lot.
This was just way too over ambitious, if you want to call it that. I did not like it. I hated everything about this match. And I hope I never see it again.
But the real question, Chris, A, did you win the fight? And B, are you gonna go watch Pope's Exorcist this weekend?
We reached the resolution for them to stop parking in our space the way they did. So
Job well
on that
done.
front. Yeah.
Job well done. Chase, you were there live. Is there any difference to what everybody's saying here?
We were lifeless. We did once the match stopped, we didn't care. I just have a question for everyone. Who's seen a Hell in a Cell live? Like, has everyone seen a Hell in a Cell match live here?
Yeah, I have.
This is my third. This is my third time.
Yeah, I've seen one.
I've never seen one.
I don't know what it is. I think Hell in a Cell works better if you're on TV and you're just watching it at home. Live, like, I felt bad for this one kid. Shout out to little Johnny. He was so excited for this match, and he was so sad afterwards because it was just lifeless. It was. I didn't know those were Kendall sticks. I thought they were lightsabers. I was like, why do they have lightsabers in the Hell in a Cell match? I was like so confused. And this was the point too. They turned off the jumbotron, so we couldn't. So when Finn was laying there, when Finn was laying there, and like we didn't know what was going on, we were like, "Where's the jumbotron?" Because obviously they turned it off because probably I don't know how it came up. So I had to load up the good old Peacock app, and Peacock was like, "Oh my god!" Like 12 seconds behind. So like I literally had to rewatch the ladder spot again. And then I was just like, all right, Michael Cole, tell me what happened to Finn. We're sitting here wondering what's going on. So yeah, this match was, watching it live, probably one of the worst live matches I've ever seen. I was just like, what the fuck? It's just from the optics, because I'm like, the entrances were cool, but afterwards I'm seeing lightsabers, Edge's throwing a ladder. I'm like, the fans wouldn't shut up about the fucking tables. Shut up. We don't need tables every fucking match. Stop it.
The Hell in a Cell has basically become a street fight with a cage hurting the ability for fans to see the actual matchup. And I think it was so funny to Josh is because we literally had someone in our group chat this morning trying to tell us this was a good match. And I think that's what made Chris's response even funnier. Josh, what did you think about this?
I'm saying, yeah, because part of it too is that you could sense the bias, and that's the only reason why they were trying to defend the match. And then they stopped talking once we were like, no, it was Matt. And because you know what it is with this match, right? I was comparing, right? So the last Hell in a Cell match Edge had was with Seth, right? And that was a great match. And I said, if he does anything to that level or over, then that makes it a great match. That wasn't near that. It wasn't even close to that. And Edge is at a point to me where I don't want to say that he doesn't care, but you can see that he's just not the same. And it's been like this for like almost a year. It could be his age. It could be that he knows his time is running out, but he hasn't been the same. This match kind of showed that. The colors, like the freaking chairs, the candlesticks, I thought it was stupid. I just didn't get it. I thought it kind of felt like they improvised, like, all right, we'll take away the red cell, but then we're gonna make everything else different colors. That's how it came off, and it just didn't make any sense to me. It didn't bother me as much as it did others last night, but I thought it was ridiculous. And even Edge winning, I was like, he already had like his win, and then you have him win again. I was like, all right, cool. I just want the shit over with at this point.
Basically, Jeremy.
It was a nice 2K setup. Let's have colored lightsabers and kendo sticks, and let's have a platform on the cell. It's gonna look great in the 2K game next year when they add that stuff. I mentioned Demon Balor earlier. I was just it's Finn Balor just with face paint and stuff. What is Brood Edge? Was there Brood music? Was there Gangrel? It was just here's Brood Edge right there, and that didn't make any sense to me. I had no use for this match going into it because Edge being Zordon from Power Rangers didn't help me at all. And, yeah, the demon, like on paper, cool concept. I think in theory, cool concept. NXT, cool concept. Main roster, yeah, lost to the turnbuckle. So it was actually, I will credit in that it was shorter than I thought. Like it went 18 minutes, and I thought they were going to try to. Edge loves his epics. I definitely thought he was going to try to go like 25, 30 minutes. So it was actually shorter than I thought. And then when you factor in the break of things, and on that, like I'm all about performer or safety. So I'm glad he got checked out and everything. I'm glad Edge is good. The issue with it in a match like this is like, we're going to go to hell and we're going to destroy each other and we're going to, blood, guts, whatever. And then it's like, oh, wait, you got a gash. Let's stop the match here.
It's the same thing. Yep. It's the same thing earlier.
Yeah, like it just hurts it. And again, you want to make sure the performance is good, which are the performers are like safe and everything, which, that should be the priority. But when you talk all that build and stuff, and then this happens, it just hurts things a little bit. So it was a Hell in a Cell match that no one will remember, but everyone will love jumping off that platform in 2K next year.
I'm here for that. That's gonna be cool. You don't have to jump off the top of the cell anymore. You have a little perch now. That's perfect. We do have breaking news in the chat. I see a couple of people saying this. Triple H is to make an announcement tonight on Raw. Yeah. I think Jeremy's tweet is gonna come true. It's gonna be
all titles vacated, baby. Here we go.
What was your tweet? That to vacate all the titles?
It was Vince and Dana White are going to be in the middle of the ring to start the show, and they're going to vacate all the titles, and it's a new era of everything.
We're going to shake things up. Bring it back to Nitro 2000.
Listen, there's only one thing Triple H needs to announce tonight, and we'll get into that as we review later on.
I know.
Well, Romeo, what did you think about Edge and Balor?
Let me say some nice things about the Demon. I think the Demon looked good visually. I love the old entrance theme. That's a banger. I missed that. All right. The different color weapons was distracting and unnecessary. I just pictured Edge and Finn backstage all day doing arts and crafts, like coloring. Dominic here. Dominic, you do this one. It's just like, why? And the poor medical staff here, they're dealing with what happened to Shane, and now they got to deal with this Finn Balor cut.
Like the Popeye employees.
They're like the Popeye employees when the chicken sandwich came out, man. I know it's PG, but it's Hell in a Cell. It's a blood feud. You're presenting it as such, not showing the blood. It's just like, it's so lame. It's so lame. I understand cutting away from Shane because, that's a, you didn't expect that, but the blood thing is like, it's Hell in a Cell. It waters down the whole point of Hell in a Cell. Like, the match wasn't bad. It did pick up, but why does Edge need to win? What's the point? What are we setting him up for?
And also,
story.
Yeah, I will add too that I know everyone was talking about the gash, and I've been saying like that's nothing for Finn. We saw Finn freaking pop his freaking dislocate, tore his shoulder against Seth, popped it back in, still finished the match. So even if you notice in the match, Finn still wanted to go. Finn wasn't trying to get medical help. He still wanted to go. So I think that was like, it was pretty minor. At the same time, with how Triple H feels about blood, I get his point. Like I get where he was coming from. So I'm not surprised that happened. But I do agree that, it's Hell in a Cell. You're supposed to have a sense of danger. And now that takes away from that. That even takes away even more from that. How I felt about Hell in a Cell already. Now it's kind of like, now you're just going to take that out. I don't see the point of a match, period, now.
It was like no red cell, no red blood. We got Kate in the chat with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Kate. She says another 5 spot from me for Romeo. I went catatonic after what they did to New Day last year on a live watch along. This is my penance. Good, God bless.
Thank you, Kate.
We appreciate you, Kate. Thank you for showing love.
I'm not finished ranting about this bullshit.
Uh-oh.
Put Finn over. It would mean so much more for him.
Preach.
It's so frustrating. And now Rhea Ripley's hanging out with these losers.
Yes.
She's the star of Judgment Day. It's just, what does Edge need? Or what? We're setting up Edge Roman again? No, we don't need that. We don't need that.
Yeah,
Put
it was
people over.
It was just like, what did Finn get out of this feud? What did Judgment Day get out of this feud? Judgment Day looked like idiots because they kicked Edge out and said he was the weakness, and he's won every match except for one.
Yeah.
And by the way, whenever Finn Balor's gonna bring the demon back, who's gonna be intimidated? Who's gonna care?
Yeah.
Oh, you're bringing the demon back? Beat his ass. Good.
Like Jay said, they're gonna be there for the entrance, and then that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
We got a couple of stuff to kill time before the main event. There was a commercial, a video package of all the movie parodies. Kayla Braxton interviewed Bianca Belair, said that she was living the dream. Then the Divas of Compton came and celebrated with her. They also did a recap of the WWE Hall of Fame, showing everybody. Stacy Keibler looked immaculate. She like Nate said yesterday, that milk has no expiration date. And then it ended with Rey Mysterio embracing all the Hall of Fame inductees and getting his last moment as the headliner this year. They did the big video for WrestleMania in Philadelphia. They showed Seth Rollins' entrance from yesterday, right before the match he said he should have been in, so very ironic there. There was also a TurboTax commercial before the main event that was sponsored by TurboTax. And then finally, we got the video packages. And then it's time for the match everybody wanted to talk about here and in the chat, the main event.
All right.
Cody,
Hey, SP3.
Yeah.
Real quick, brother. I know we on this road right quick, but I do have to say I felt bad for Great Muta during that Hall of Fame segment for two reasons. Number one, again, missed, because he did the mist on stage and the cameras completely missed it. And then the second thing was, Ray went up, hugged Stacy, and Muta went in for the hug. And Ray was just like, nice to meet you, sir. All right, have a great day. I'm like, damn, Ray, you ain't had to do Muta like that. You ain't had to do him like that, Ray.
He was like, we weren't in WCW at the same time.
Right. He's
like,
like,
you were only a guest. You were only a
And
guest.
he's got the Muta mask too on top of it.
He did.
Like, come on, Ray.
He did have his own Muta mask there. Cody Rhodes comes out first for our main event. The crowd was loudly singing his theme song during his entrance. He comes to the front row and we see his family. And this right here was the first moment in the entire build up to this matchup where I was like, oh, Cody might lose, because why would you do this whole big thing with your family if you're going to win? Because you want that moment with your family after you win. But I guess the win was being in the main event of WrestleMania, because he's celebrating with his family, gives his wife Brandy a kiss. He has his daughter Liberty wave to the crowd. He kisses his mother, his sister. You get him given the belt with all the companies that he was with to little Brody Jr. -1. Yes, an AEW star was on WrestleMania, which was acknowledged by Michael Cole. And then
you lost him, Tony. You lost him forever now.
Then we get one of the best.
I want to add too that somebody pulled out a Cuban flag, because you know how Cody's mom is Cuban?
Yeah.
So I added a name. I was calling him Cody Devontae Gonzalez Rhodes.
Cody Devontae Gonzalez Rhodes, great entrance. This was a tearjerker for sure. Roman Reigns gave us one of the best final boss entrances I ever remember, with the whole piano orchestra bringing him out to the ring, playing his theme song as he came down and made his slow walk to the ring. Samantha Irvine with one of the greatest ring introductions for a WrestleMania main event of all time. She gives her whole emotion. She says it with her chest every single time, and I love her for it. The crowd was very much into this. This had the big fight feel that everybody wanted for this match, with both guys getting big reactions. Cody, obviously the favorite, Reigns before the matchup gets on the mic and says, WrestleMania, acknowledge me. And then I was right back. I was like, why would Roman do this if he's going to win? Okay, maybe Cody is going to win after all. This is the range of emotions I was going throughout even the beginning of this matchup. They do the big stare down. Cody gets the upper hand very early on with the quick little Goldust jab, and then Roman goes to the outside. He gets a pep talk from the wise man who tells him to smash him, and then he says, respectfully, my tribal chief. And then Reigns gets in some offense before Cody is able to hit a drop kick. He gets a headlock to get some control. He tries for a disaster blaster kick, but Roman catches him into a powerbomb for 2. Roman takes control after that. They fight a little bit until Cody is able to hit him with the Cody cutter for a near fall. At that point, they fight to the outside where Solo first gets involved, where he hits Cody Rhodes in the ribs with the steel chair, but the referee is not able to see it. Reigns then follows up with the drive-by kick. We get Solo once again getting involved. He hits Cody in the back with the belt, so he gets ejected from ringside. They fight to the outside where Roman looks like he's gonna powerbomb Cody into the English commentary table, but Cody's able to backdrop him into there right in front of his family. We get Roman with a rock bottom for a 2 count. Later on, we get Cody with the figure 4, shades of his father, almost getting a near fall and a submission win, but Roman's able to reverse that. Cody hits the crossroads. We get the 1-2 kick out. This had the near falls that had this crowd on their feet, fully invested into this matchup. Roman hits a spear and he gets a near fall. Roman at this point is wondering what the hell I gotta do to finish this man off. He goes for the guillotine and it looks like Cody's gonna pass out, but Cody's able to fight out of it, make his way out and punching down on Roman. And then finally we get a ref bump and it's into the Roman Reigns booking. Well, before the ref bump, we get Cody with probably one of the best near falls of this matchup, where he hits a pedigree for a 2 count, but then we get the ref bump. The Usos come out, they super kick Cody, they hit him with the 1D, but then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come out to make the save. They fight off the Usos. Owens hits the stunner on Roman, followed by Sami with the Aluva kick. Cody gets another close near fall after that. Then it comes down to the 2 men in the ring. They're fighting it out. Cody avoids a Superman punch and then gives him the dusty jabs into the bionic elbow. He hits the Goldust uppercut. He hits crossroads. Then he hits another crossroads. He pauses, tries to take the moment in. He looks like he's going to hit the 3rd crossroads for the win, but Paul Heyman gets on the apron. He distracts the referee with a hood over his head. Solo Sikoa reemerges. He gives Cody the Samoan spike, and Roman does the supercharge, running shades of me in my fight against baby Seth, the supercharged spear, and the 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns defeats Cody Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania 39. Roman Reigns stands tall, 940-something days. It continues, and a heartbroken Cody Rhodes is left in the ring wondering what's next. The babyface everyone believed in, everyone thought would win, but we end the night with Roman Reigns standing tall as your undisputed WWE Universal Champion. I gave this match 4 3/4 stars, a near perfect matchup. And why is it a near perfect matchup? Is because Roman Reigns, 1,000 days, ladies and gentlemen. Forget the fake activist of black supremacy, Cody Rhodes. He faked y'all all off. I learned in 2017 when he gave 2 sweets to people of a lighter complexion and then flipped me off. He is not what you thought he was. And Roman Reigns stands tall for the culture. We the ones in 1,000. Romeo, what did you think about this match? All that withstanding, I will say that finish was trash. It shouldn't have been Solo that helped him win.
Now that you got your personal agenda out the way.
Yes, Roman should have won in a different way, not
Get him, Romeo.
that it was executed. The finish, the result, I'm fine with. I actually accept it, and I'm happy that I was right in the end. But how it went down was poorly done. Romeo, what did you think?
The intros were awesome. That Roman entrance, 7 minutes worth every second. It was so epic, awesome. And this match, I thought everything was perfectly paced. It was intense. It was dramatic. It was edge of my seat stuff. I even loved, having the Usos get involved. Sammy KO. It felt right for the story. But this is the main event of the showcase of the Immortals. This is WrestleMania. This is your biggest show. You can't kick someone from ringside as the referee and it still affects the outcome of the match.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's horrible. It's lazy. It's not fun. Even Roman fans, you don't want to win this way. You want to win the Roman way. And this company prides themselves on authority figures. Authority figures always fixing something, righting wrongs. Adam Pearce is always in somebody's business. You know, he must have been busy with Chelsea during this. Where the fuck is he? Where the fuck is he? This is WrestleMania. You're not paying attention. You didn't see what the hell just happened? How does that make sense? And I'm talking myself into no way this is gonna end like this. I'm booking it in my head. Oh my God, they're gonna do the dusty finish. The irony of Roman losing to Cody with a dusty finish. It's poetry. Triple H's music is gonna hit, and he's gonna restart the match. No, none of that. None of that. If Triple H is making any damn announcement on Raw, it better concern this. I don't want to hear jack shit. He needs to address this atrocity. And going forward, if Cody ain't gonna win here last night, I don't want to see him win at SummerSlam or anywhere else.
We got to get the Nightmare Express. The Nightmare Express choo-chooing to Detroit, Michigan. 30 years in the making. The last time a real American made their way into Detroit for SummerSlam, they won by countout against the same family member. But they got to get the job done. 30 years in the making. Cody's going to do it for his ancestor, Lex Luger.
I don't want to see it at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
If you just said ancestor Lex Luger.
They're both from Atlanta, Georgia. I mean,
listen, if you can't get The Rock and Roman at WrestleMania, the city of brotherly love becomes the city of cousinly love. If you can't get that commitment early, then you do Cody Roman rematch there. You have Cody win Money in the Bank, announces he wants Roman at Mania. You pay whatever rights for the Rocky music, and you make it Rocky themed. You make it Rocky, even though I've never seen the Rocky movies. You make it Rocky themed.
That's actually true, by the way, guys. He's not trolling.
So
there's a lot of movies he hasn't seen.
Me and CM Punk. Listen, I enjoyed the match, but flat ending, an atrocity, a crime. You can't have that happen on your main event at all. You have to fix it.
Yeah.
Jeremy?
Romeo brought up a point just a second ago about WrestleMania 40 and in Philadelphia get The Rock. So everyone thought, oh, The Rock, Hollywood, this is the point for him, right? What was the moment between Roman Reigns and The Rock at the Royal Rumble 2015? And what city did that happen in? You also want to talk about Rocky. Like, where is that famously held? This is your long-term storytelling cinema that everyone loves. The Philadelphia moment in 2015 where The Rock stamped Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble and everybody booed. And then here we are almost a decade later at WrestleMania 40, The Rock and Roman Reigns headlining with Roman Reigns at like 8,000 days as the champion. I don't actually know if that's going on, but if they want to do their cinema stuff, there you go. There's all your tie-in for Philadelphia when everybody thought it was going to be Hollywood. As far as the match goes, it was a great match. I was stunned on the finish. I let out an audible holy shit like when I saw the finish. Like, I did not expect that. I thought Cody was going to kick out. I thought they had another cousin, uncle, brother, sister that came out in the hood. I did not think it was Solo Sikoa at first. I was like, who's coming out here? Look, they had it right there for it, right? Like, everyone thought Cody was the moment. Well, we can't do Sammy in Montreal because we have Cody at WrestleMania. And now they passed on Cody at WrestleMania. So whatever they got, if they got anything, whatever they got, it better be huge because they passed on two just absolutely moments, really three if you want to go back to Drew, but they passed on just multiple moments that were the right place, right time, right person, especially I think with Sammy and Cody. And now who's it going to be? Do they know who it's going to be? I'm fine with Cody getting a little bit of adversity because he ain't taken no L's since he come back. That's fine with me. You can tell that story. But is that story going to be worth whatever else you have with Roman Reigns? That's a risk they are taking here, and we'll let it play out, I guess.
To let it play out.
Yeah. Josh?
I mean, the match was great itself. It was a great main event. Both of them have like this main event style that I think it worked very well. As for the finish, yeah, that's where it felt flat for me because what Romeo said, that's where I was coming out. That's where I was coming from when it came to that. With Solo coming back out, I would have been fine if Roman would have done something himself to, if he would have done something himself to have a dirty finish. I would have been fine with that. That's why it felt flat for me. I was fine with the result because WWE's been pushing this 1,000 days thing. Usually when they do that, there's merch behind it. So I was fine with that. It was just the finish itself was flat.
Right.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Chase?
I don't know why we were trying to even pretend Cody Rhodes was going to win. Come on, guys. Roman beat Drew in front of a bunch of Europeans in Cardiff, Wales. Roman beat Sammy with a bunch of Canadians in Montreal. He's not losing to Cody Rhodes and with a bunch of tourists in LA. This was going to happen. Cody Rhodes was going to lose. The minute Cody said to Solo, "You're not ready," that told me he wasn't ready. The focus wasn't on our tribal chief. He was not ready for this moment. Roman Reigns is bred for this moment. He is bred for this. And this was great. 3 years in a row, 3 title defenses. We the 1000s, down since day 1000. We are ready for this. This is history. Don't worry, guys. Cody will still stay over. Cody's going to be a hot baby face no matter what. The moment's not ruined. We're creating more moments. Roman Reigns said it best. We're creating movies out here. Come on, not everyone can be on the tribal chief's timing. Once you get on that timing, you will understand. It's okay. Cody will have his moment. Drew will have his moment. All these people have their moments, just not when the tribal chief's around.
I love Chase. Chase is the right Nick Wright of us with Roman Reigns. We got Wayne in the chat who says, "Well, I think it is reckless that Roman Reigns is still WWE World Champion
Reckless.
when he needs help from the Usos. What a joke he is, and looks like it's putting me off watching WWE. In fact, I won't be watching. You can watch here. You can watch here.
It's like that doesn't bother me. I don't know where that's coming from. That really does not bother me. And then in regards to Cody, because I know people were saying like, oh, that they should have struck with the irons hot. To be honest with you, I think what hurt Cody was the time he missed. So even with him winning the Royal Rumble and then him, if he would have won a WrestleMania, that would have. I don't even think the outcome to that would have been great.
Exactly. This guy got hurt. Like you expect some guy that got hurt was wrestling Gunther's sideman. That this guy's going to be our tribal chief? What are we doing here? How does this make any sense? Like you guys are saying this long-term story. This is the long-term story. Roman Reigns is a story, not Cody. Cody missed time. He got hurt.
My whole thing that I thought Roman would win originally is because there's been no adversity to this story.
Exactly.
I know people want to say, oh no, Cody's been through adversity. He's been on TV for 2 decades. He's had the injury. There's been no adversity in the WWE return to Cody Rhodes. He basically got a red carpet since he won the 3 matches against Seth. He gets injured. He has to recover for 8 months. He comes back to the number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble. He wins there, and then he's totally looked strong against Roman Reigns the entire build-up. There was no adversity, and the whole Cody Rhodes story, like people was making my point for me, is about adversity. He needed to lose. They could have done it. They just could have done it better. That's the whole point.
The story he was trying to finish was the American Dream story, not the American Nightmare story. It's not his story. He was trying to finish his Dusty story. Now it's time for the American Nightmare story to start. Now it's time to build Cody's story, not his dad's story, not his family's story, Cody's story. And this is what they're going to do. Like Triple H would say famously, just watch. Just watch, guys. Just watch. Just look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch any. We'll see you for Raw tonight.
No, they don't have to watch the Raw. Just watch Rated Raw Superstars.
Yeah.
Professor Kris, what did you think about this match?
So I've been saying from the beginning, Nate could attest to this, Andrew Thompson could attest to this. Don't think that they won't make Roman Reigns win this match. I always knew it was a possibility. With that said, I think from a narrative standpoint, this was the wrong move. I think from a narrative standpoint, as far as the practice or art of storytelling, telling stories, as Google says, I don't think this was the right move. As the third definition of Google says about narrative, a representation of a particular situation or process in such a way as to reflect or confirm an overarching set aim or values. I don't think this was a good story. As far as the ending, I think the excuse that Triple H used on that I've seen going around the Twitter machine, I thought that was kind of cheap. Look, man, this was, and I've been saying this for weeks too. If they don't go with Cody, this is as hot as he's ever going to be in this company. Cody's time is over now, man. I know we like to think that, this is done. They spent all this time on this. There needs to be a new shiny toy to play with, because if Cody's not going to be as hot as he was last night, and this is what makes this a bum ass storyline. If it didn't play out the way it played out last night, I'd probably give this match a 5-star. I probably would have went the Meltzer 6-star route. But it was whack, and I give it 3 stars because of the ending. It's like what I was saying about Ray versus Dominic. From a narrative standpoint, Ray needed to win that match. I know it's like people were mad that he didn't pass the torch to Dominic. That wasn't the story. The story was Ray needed to win that match because his son is a dick. In this storyline, Cody needed to win because they put so much into this Cody overcoming everything kind of thing. And it is what it is. I don't want to sit through Roman. 1,000 days is good for me. I do not want to sit through Roman as champ until next year's WrestleMania. That's just me.
I didn't sign off on that one. It sounded great when Jeremy explained it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have the opponents for a full year.
I can do 1,000 days and be happy with it and give it to whoever, Gunther, whoever. I can't do this shit for 1,000 more days. I'm not gonna fly to Philly. The plan is to fly to Philly for next year's WrestleMania. I'm not doing that shit if this crap is. I thought last night was a good night to end this bloodline stuff, and it's not ending. I don't want to see it anymore after 1,000 days. That's just my personal opinion.
Nate, what do you think about the man you anointed, Cody Devontae Rhodes, losing at the altar of the tribal chief at the grandest stage of them all? Stand up for Devontae. Let's hear it.
Yes. As Professor Kris knows, very well, being somebody that's involved in the world of politics, there is a process called equal time, where both sides get to share their views. And we've sat here, Sid, for months, some would say years, and heard your agenda, against Cody Devontae Gonzalez Rhodes, this hero to the people. We've sat here. I've come on your show multiple times. I've stepped in to this den of denigration. I've stepped in to this circle of slander that you done put around this man, Cody Devontae Rhodes. I done seen all the hateration and the holleration you done put up in this dancery, Sid. So let's talk about last night in Hollywood. Let's talk about last night in Los Angeles, California. Let's talk about WrestleMania Night 2. First of all, I'll give you the good. The entrances were on point. Like Devontae's entrance was emotional. Like when he's there with Brandy and his sister and his mama and the baby Liberty, like Liberty, the representation of all that is good in this country. And Liberty, let me tell you, this is how I knew. This is when I knew I was like, Cody is ready tonight, because they had the ear protectors on, because little baby shouldn't have to listen to all those decibels in that stadium. Liberty took the earmuffs off and said, I'm here for you, Pops. We got this. I don't need to have this audio filtered. I need to hear the people say, whoa. And then he gave that belt to -1. I was like, damn. Like they got to finish the story. And then your man Roman Reigns. Like I have no beef with the tribal chief. You know, I respect Roman. He's a good dude, man. He's come through a lot himself. And I think last night was the first time, because I'm still getting used to his new theme, or I guess he's had it for like a year and a half now. But it's still like somebody can play it on the phone or play it, you know, on a clip or something, and it takes me a second. Like, oh yeah, that's Roman.
They needed a choir out there singing it.
They could have brought back Seth's conductor. I'm sure he still was in town. But last night with all those pianos, like it felt, both entrances felt like WrestleMania quality entrances. And I feel like we were lacking a little bit of that on both nights. Like there are a couple of instances like with Bianca and Asuka and also with Ray and Dominic where I thought the entrances really hit. But for the most part, you just had Charlotte walk down a ramp. It's like, come on, y'all can't do better for the queen. But in terms of the match itself, I thought the match was fantastic. You know, Cody's never going to be one of those guys that you're like, oh, he's the best in the world, bell to bell. Like, no, but what Cody is good at is telling a story inside the ring. And this match kind of reminded me of that All In match. Was it All In or All Out when he had the match with Aldis?
It was All In.
All in. So
yeah.
it kind of reminded me of the All In match with Aldis, not from the beats of the match kind of perspective, but from the story that he and Roman were telling. I thought that everything was exactly what it needed to be until the very end. Like I think that A, Cody should have gone over, but B, if Cody is not going to go over,
yeah,
I feel like I was like, oh snap, they got another Samoan in the mix. And it was just Solo in the hoodie. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, like I think this was a hell of a match. Had Cody gone over, I too, like it would have gotten 5 stars at least for me. Even that being said, I'm still giving it 4.5. Like I thought it was a hell of a match by both guys. Cody showed, because I know there was some people out there doubting Devontae. Like, oh, he did. Why is he in this? He ain't no main eventer. That was a main event match last night that Cody and Roman put on for the people. In terms of where we go, because I heard Triple H out there after at the press conference after he got through yelling at Nick Hausman. He was like, yo, we shout out to Nick.
Shout out to Nick, yeah.
Triple H is like, well, Cody said finish the story, but the story is going to continue, and he should have just said let it play out, guys.
Yeah,
that's all
for
Triple
real.
H
that
wanted me to
seriously
hear.
What he should have said.
Just let it play out, guys. But I think the thing is, because I hear what everybody's saying, and I do think there is merit to Roman reaching 1,000 days. The question, though, is if Cody is going to be the guy, then what are you going to do to keep him the guy for 3 months? Because as we all know, a lot can happen with WWE booking in 3 months. And so to the point earlier about the injury hurting Cody, I disagree. I think the injury helped him, because if Cody had to stay and be a regular dude on this roster for 8 months, who knows what the hell they would have been able to do with him from a booking standpoint. So I actually think the break helped Cody and kept him hot. So I don't know.
When I was saying why it hurt him is because of the aspect of giving him the title.
Right.
You would have given him the title.
But the story was always for Cody, though.
Yeah. And I think that's why I said it would have hurt him, because then they would have been in a predicament because you're giving him this title now. Right. What's going to happen now when he becomes champion? I think that's where I was coming from when I said that. Not so much like going to be there was going to be like a lot going off on him when he comes back, because he's a great baby face. That wasn't where I was going with that. It was more the fact that giving him the title now, I don't know if that would be a good idea.
And I think the thing is, like, I get your point, but I also feel like I have less faith in this booking team and this writing staff than most. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, dog, the bloodline is a once in a generation storyline that has fallen into these folks' laps. And they've been able to keep it going and give us twists and turns with Brock Lesnar and KO and Sammy and now Cody. Like, they've been able to tell us a really good story. But as we've seen also at this WrestleMania weekend, they couldn't think of a damn thing for these women. You know what I mean? They could barely think of anything for these tag teams. So I'm like, I can be patient and wait for Cody to have his moment at SummerSlam, but y'all got to show me. You know, your point earlier, SP3, Triple H, Vince, Dana White, Shane McMahon with his one good quad, whoever the hell is writing these stories, y'all got to show me that you can take this adversity that you've now put on this Cody Rhodes character and show us how he overcomes it while still keeping him hot. Because if not, then you have wasted a moment.
Right. And Cody Rhodes is going to take the Lex Express right on over to
the American Dream Express.
And not win again. I don't see it happening.
No, after 1,000 days is fine. By that point, he's gonna pass Pedro Morales on the all-time record as well. We got Nate Dogg.
Stop there. Go to San Martino. Why stop?
No. We don't need
stop.
Is Terry on the list? Because he needs to pass Terry.
He'll pass Terry if he gets to WrestleMania 40.
Nate Dogg Contest says main event of Raw announced Roman and Solo versus Cody and a mystery partner. I'm guessing the mystery partner is Orton. It's Orton.
I haven't seen this announced anywhere.
Radio.
Oh God. Oh God, no, please no. That would be hilarious.
Yo, what's Ted DiBiase Jr. doing on these streets?
I don't even know if he's on the streets. I think in the
Give me the Priceless theme again, or the Legacy theme again.
He might be the Uso Penitentiary, Ted.
Two of the best themes in recent memory.
To Romeo's point, they haven't, even with the Triple H announcement, this is being reported by, I believe, Worked Wrestling. They've gotten some stuff right in the past. WWE has not put out anything official. Triple H announcement, main event, anything like that.
Gotcha.
So, I want to clarify that.
I checked WWE's Twitter. It doesn't say anything about the Triple H or the or this tag team matchup. We got Roxy in the chat suggesting, why do I get the feeling that Roman's new opponent is going to go back to someone he's never beat, and that's Rollins. And that was a thought I also had during this matchup, is that he needs to go back to that. If you're gonna have 3 months in between, maybe Cody getting another shot at SummerSlam, in between those, we need the Rollins. Maybe in Saudi Arabia or something like that, you do the Rollins match.
I think it's going to be 3 months of boring WWE television, is what I predict.
If there is a Triple H announcement, what do you expect it to be?
I think it's going to probably be about the sale, maybe.
I don't know if they're going to mention that on TV.
Do you think it's possible he would punish Roman and strip him of one title?
That'd be so lame.
That would be so lame. I heard people trying to make that suggestion before WrestleMania. It was lame then. It's lame now.
I think he's going to announce a new title. They're going to say no more Undisputed WWE.
I can see that because they already have the title made. I can see them being like, okay, Roman, you're no longer the Undisputed Universal Champion. You are the Endeavor World WWE.
No, I thought this Snoop Dogg belt, this gold belt shit, I thought it was going to lead to Roman Reigns just being like, hey, I like this belt. Let me take it. So I thought that's what it was going to lead to.
That's almost as goofy as the spinner title.
I thought that's what it was going to lead to. I was like, well, it looks just like every other belt they have.
And you can't run up on Snoop in LA. You get a bunch of bloods come at you.
You get quick wall stomped out.
Some Crips coming at you.
EVB with a super chat donation, a couple here. He says, I'm pretending that Cody won. What a beautiful day. Thank you for the super chat donation. He also says, important question, thoughts on Vince's mustache?
He needs to put more cream in there or something. Like he needs to put something to make it nice and strong and powerful. Like you can tell he's never had facial hair in his life, man. Like it's a dirty white person's mustache. I'll say that.
That hair bothers me more than anything.
He looks
The
like
the hair.
And it just
The dyed hair is a little over
Yeah, the
top.
Just for Men's not working for you, Vince. I know they're a sponsor, but
We got EBB also with a comment here, said, I argue the match was leading to be one of the absolute best in terms of height, execution, fantastic match until that ending. Yeah, I wouldn't put it on Starrcade 97 level, because not only was the whole finish a letdown, the match was trashed because Hogan dominated Sting after he was scared of Sting for a full year.
Yeah.
He dominated Sting because Hogan was like, well, you're not in shape, so I think
you're not tan, brother.
You're not tan, brother.
You're not tan enough, brother. I think I have to dominate the match, and then you make we do the last count, and then you eventually win because Bret Hart. But and then he told Nick Patrick, count regular though. Count regular though. He gave him an extra 20 on the side and was like, count regular though. Don't mess it up. That was a complete that's all time. Nothing probably will ever get close to the amount of hype and the execution of how horrible that Starrcade 97 finish was. You could say the emotion maybe of the fans afterwards was similar, but I wouldn't put it on that level of how bad that was executed.
Yeah, the thing with Starrcade is after Starrcade, like there was no way to reclamate that Sting character after what they did at Starrcade 97 with Cody. Like, even though I feel like Cody should have won, if they tell the story correctly, there is a way to keep Cody hot coming off of this. Which, like I said, after Terrence from Florida did his shenanigans backstage, like that was a wrap for Sting.
Right, and to me, it's just a matter of. You had your two bosses before Cody Rhodes that you had the chance to get a title on and you didn't. You had this story with Cody right in your face, and to not go through with it, to me, it's just it just doesn't make any sense from a narrative standpoint. If it's leading to something else, the stuff at Starrcade was just horrible. It was stupid. It made like no sense on any level. You can argue that this Cody thing, maybe they have something better. I don't think they do, but maybe they do. And like Jeremy said, we gotta let it play out,
Let it play out, Chris. Let it play out.
Yeah, maybe Judgment Day wants to recruit Cody. They're losers. He's a loser.
Exactly.
Loser does.
Just a loser.
You don't know about the demon inside of Cody Devontae Gonzalez.
Yeah,
Rhodes.
exactly.
When he comes out,
because
multicultural demon, it's a wrap.
Yeah, because WWE has never figured out an argument for Lex Luger not winning the title. He should have won at SummerSlam, and they had. Yeah, and even if he didn't win at SummerSlam, he could have won at WrestleMania 10 and then turned heel on Bret. Something could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a missed opportunity. And I think this Cody thing is a missed opportunity. It just is what it is.
I think the difference is, though, Cody's actually naturally over. Lex Luger was forced over at that time. I was a little kid, and I know I was forced.
Luger was shoved down our throat, literally.
Yeah, but still, he was going around the country in a fucking bus, man. They built
it up to the point that he was supposed to win, but he didn't do it. EBB also said they needed to strike while the iron was hot, and last night it was at its hottest, but they didn't. Thank you, EBB, for the super chat donations and those comments. We got one more super chat donation here from Nate Dog Kanta, who says, Sammy said the story was WWE's version of The Sopranos. Last night they turned it into Game of Thrones season.
Oh, come on.
Damn.
Oh, man.
No, not even.
Man. If they wanted to turn it to Game of Thrones, then Cody would turn heel right now.
No, they would have turned to Game of Thrones.
He would have turned heel randomly during the match.
No, turning to Game of Thrones is like giving Solo Sikoa the world title for no reason. It's like, oh yeah, Solo Sikoa, you're world champion now. It's like, what?
Here you go.
I guess he was ready.
Thank you for the super chat, Nate. We appreciate that. One more comment I wanted to feature here was C Peasy with a good point here, saying say what you want about Vince, but when Vince booked Roman would beat guys clean. He never needed help under Vince's booking. I will say, I just when he made that comment, I thought about it. I was like, Clash at the Castle, the Royal Rumble, this one, like, yeah, it's been very heavy under the Triple H that Roman always needs a bunch of help to get the job done.
Yeah, it's a lot of bells and whistles. Yeah.
Can I say one more thing about this match? Paul Heyman was fantastic. He had me rolling laughing.
Yeah.
At one point in the match, he shames himself because he raises his voice at Roman. So he changes his tone. He's like, "My tribal chief."
That's why I mentioned that when I was talking about the review, when he was like, "Respectfully, my that was great. That was great. But yes, that brings us to an end of our review of WrestleMania 39, Night 2. Let's all put our thumbs in the middle. Let's give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. In 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up from me. Thumbs in the middle from Romeo, thumbs in the middle from Jeremy, thumbs in the middle from Josh, thumbs up from Nate, thumbs in the middle from Professor Chris, and thumbs up from Chase. See, this is the juxtaposition of how this night made people feel in a nutshell. Was the thumbs up. Sound off in the live chat. Last call for super chat donations. Let us know what you gave the show out of 10. Match of the night, MVP and LVP. We'll start with what you gave the show out of 10. Chase. 8 out of 10 for Chase. Professor Chris,
like a 6.5.
Damn. Nate.
So before I give my score for Sunday, I want to amend my score for Saturday. Now that we've seen both nights,
pump it up.
So Saturday, I said it was a 7.5. I'm gonna bump that up to an 8.5.
I told you went too low. I told you went too low.
Well, I was leaving room just in case Cody put off, the match of the year.
I gave it. I saw people giving it a 10 out of 10 on websites. I saw WrestleTalk giving it 100%. I was like, no, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. So you have room to grow for night 2. It was a 9 out of 10. In a nutshell, if that was just WrestleMania, that would have been one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. But I will say together, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, so I'll go 8.5 for night 1 and 7.5 for night 2.
I'm gonna agree with you for night 2. I give it a 7.5. What I will say is that overall, this is the best 2-night WrestleMania since they've done 2 nights the last 4 years. Romeo?
I'm also bumping up my night 1 score from an 8.5 to a 9. Night 2 gets a 6.2 from me.
Sheesh.
Less than me now.
Stand and Deliver was a better show than night 2 WrestleMania.
Jeremy?
I didn't give a night 1 score. Night 1's probably 8.5. Night 2, like, man, we got that triple threat match. Like that. That was arguably the match of the weekend. It was truly Kota Ibushi.
We got to see Shane McMahon.
Yeah. Ibushi and Joey Janela was up there as well.
There. I'll go like 7. Go 7 for night 2.
That's not bad.
Can I say one more thing about the totality of the weekend? If Cena puts in more effort, if Damage Control and Judgment Day look stronger, if LA Knight and Lashley have a moment, if Cody wins, this could be an all-time WrestleMania altogether.
After night 1, I was like WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 19, WrestleMania 39. That's where night 2 started off at, and then it just drastically. It's in the top 10. It's in the top 10, but I would say the result. It was the booking of night 2 that was the fumble, not the execution of any of the performers.
Yes, if it's laid out in front of you, it's right there.
Yeah,
and he fumbled it. Triple H, that's who I'm referring to.
Thank you for finally being honest about your Lord.
My middle name.
Your client. You're the guy you've been an attorney for since you've been claiming. Oh, Sid's just a hater. He's a hater.
You have a personal agenda.
I am clairvoyant. I am clairvoyant, ladies and gentlemen. He just made it clear to you for the first time last night. Josh, what did you give the show out of?
6.5.
6.5. So not that bad for night 2 overall from everybody.
Yeah, it's just that. Yeah, well, night 2, honestly, night 2 had the potential to be better than night 1, and because that really didn't happen, that kind of really notched down a lot for me. That's just what it comes down to.
On paper, I didn't think night 2 was nearly as strong as night 1. Like before it, I was really looking forward to Rey and Dominic. I was like Charlotte and Rhea, even though the build wasn't
me
great, I
too.
thought it would be.
Yeah, me too.
Rey.
It's just that because like last year I felt like the cards themselves were pretty lopsided.
Mhm.
This year kind of felt more balanced. That's where I was. It felt more balanced, and I felt like night 2 probably had potential to finally be better, and that didn't happen. So
I blame Edge for dragging the entire show down.
part of it. That's part of it. That's definitely part of it. That's definitely part of why I'm giving it 6.5.
The most consistent feuds in wrestling media is me and Cody and Jeremy and Edge. And the beat goes on. And
he hasn't blocked me. He's blocked like all of my friends who actually like him.
Maybe he likes Edge is like Alex Pereira, Jeremy. He loves looking at the hater stuff. Like Alex Pereira with Izzy, he just loves looking at your hatred. He's just like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Like he's eating it up. Match of the night for night 2, and then what would you? I'll give y'all 3 if your top 3 matches for both nights overall of WrestleMania. We'll start with Josh this time.
What was the question again?
Match of the night for night 2 and top 3 for both nights of WrestleMania.
Night 2, I'm gonna go with the triple threat match easily. I thought that was the best match of the night. And you said top 3 overall the weekend?
Yeah.
Top 3, I'm gonna go with probably the triple threat. I thought that was the best match of the weekend. 2, that one's pretty tough. I'll go with the women's match, Rhea and Charlotte. 3, I'll probably go with me personally. I'll go with Seth and Logan. I still enjoy that match. It was still a solid match overall. So I'll go with that at the top 3.
I'll go next, and I'll say match of the night for night 1. Night 2 is obviously the IC triple threat match by far. The top 3 for the weekend. I want to put Cody and Roman in there, but I know the finish is gonna leave a bad taste in everybody's mouth. So I'll go number 1. I'm going Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos. That's, like I said yesterday, one of the greatest tag team matches in wrestling history, and I think probably top 2, top 3 in WWE history. Number 2, the IC triple threat, and number 3, Rhea versus Charlotte. Romeo.
Yeah, my match of the night for night 2 is the same. My top 3, number 3, I'll put the triple threat, Gunther, Sheamus, Drew. Number 2, I'll put Charlotte, Rhea, and number 1, I'll put the main event tag team match. That's my match of the year, honestly.
I think it's probably top 5 match of the year for me. Jeremy.
Match of the night is by far Snoop Dogg defeating The Miz.
Thank you.
Yes.
I was the only one.
For shizzle.
Top 3 matches. Owens and Zayn over the Usos. That was my favorite match of the weekend. Rey and Dominic, number 2 for me. I really enjoyed that match. I really love the story. Rey's performance.
That was a good match. Yep.
All-time performance by Rey Mysterio. And then Snoop Dogg and The Miz at number 3.
Oh.
I
expected nothing less.
I love Jeremy's consistency. Shane, you're next.
Match of the night, triple threat IC title. My rankings are based off live and just how the crowd was. So number 1, Rey versus Dominic. This was LA's main event. We know what it's like. We wanted this match. It was amazing. I posted a video on my Twitter where I hugged the fan next to me when Rey Mysterio won. I was in tears. I loved it. Number 2 would be the triple threat, and then number 3 was the tag team title main event. Even though the tag team title main event, like I would say, it would probably be number 1 for me. But just like live, like just everything about Rey and Dominic live was just you have to be there live, and that's why it's the number 1 match for me that weekend.
I definitely understand. Rey and Dominic, they overachieved a lot on night 1. Professor Kris.
My number 1 match, my match of the night last night was probably Asuka and Bianca Belair.
Okay.
But my match of the night for the overall weekend was the tag team title match with the Zayn and Owens versus the Usos. My number 2 is gonna be Ray and Dominic, because it was a simple story to tell. Son's been an asshole for a few months. At WrestleMania, he gets his ass beat by his dad, who is a good guy. Unlike the Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes bullshit, where fucking Thanos kills the Avengers at the end of the fucking movie. Like, to me, that is
Thanos kills Captain America.
Yeah. To me, that's what that is. This is like this is like Dark Side winning in Justice League. Alonzo Harris at the end of Training Day killing everybody in South Central. This was horrible storytelling from WWE.
So that's Tupac pushes Omar Epps off the roof in Juice.
Right, yeah, this is Tupac winning in Juice. This is Bishop having the juice at the end of Juice. That was just the dumbest, worst decision from a storyline standpoint ever. But I digress. And then my third favorite match was the Rhea Ripley Charlotte match. I thought that was really good as well.
Nate?
Damn, first of all, how am I supposed to follow that, Sid?
I don't know. He should have messaged me in the private chat. He was like, I got something for y'all.
Right. Now, what am I supposed to do? But I would say the match of the night last night for me was the IC title match. And then my top three for the weekend, number 3, I would go Charlotte and Rhea, just a slight edge over Bianca and Asuka. Number 2, I would go the triple threat match. And number 1, I'm going to cheat here and say the number 1 match at WrestleMania this year was the Bloodline Saga. So I'm including the tag match from night 1 as well as Roman and Cody from night 2, because I feel like those matches and those stories are interconnected. And both were great matches despite the finish of the main event of night 2.
It's like the Avengers, but it's booked backwards. It's
they booked it backwards. We got Endgame before Infinity War.
I like that, so I was fine with it.
But Chris, you captured all of my feelings about last night in a way that I couldn't express it. That's why you're a professor, sir.
Beautiful. That was beautiful. It was beautiful. We got Kate in the chat who says Dominic can't do either of his dad's moves. Major L. She says the tag team title match from night 1, Charlotte versus Rhea, IC title triple threat, are her top 3 from WrestleMania's night 1 and 2. And we also got a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Roxy. We appreciate the love. Saying my last call is 100% with Romeo. Charlotte is superior. Best match of both nights. All hail the queen.
Let's go, Roxy. Yeah. Thank you, Roxy. Someone sees the light.
Love it.
Go.
Let's do MVP real quick. MVP for night 2. I'm gonna go with Roman Reigns. Chase.
Nope.
Bloodline, Roman Reigns. Come on. MVP.
Nope.
We the ones in 1,000.
We the 1,000, baby.
Nope.
Professor Chris.
Can you get back to me on that?
Nate.
Yeah.
If not Roman Reigns, then I think you got to give it to that man Snoop Dogg, because Snoop Dogg did a lot of heavy lifting for these 2 nights, man.
Yes,
thank you. Like music to Jeremy's ear. Jeremy.
I'm gonna go with the little girl who lost her mother and still went out there and performed. Shout out to her.
Absolutely.
Good call.
That was a good call. Josh.
I'm gonna go with Snoop Dogg.
Oh,
I love it, Snoop Dogg and the all-time MVPs. Romeo.
there's only one MVP. It's Solo Sikoa. This man, what he did for the bloodline, is going to be talked about for years, generations. He's the one. And eventually, when they set up this turn, Solo Sikoa is going to be like,
over like Rover.
I'm the tribal chief. I'm the
Whoa.
oh, it's gonna be so
Whoa,
good.
stop right there.
I
Stop right there. No.
I can't wait for that chapter. It's gonna be
No.
so good.
We're not
He's got
disrespecting.
legit reason to be
We're
thinking.
not disrespecting right now.
He's
This
got
is
reason.
Rover.
Disrespectful. Professor Chris.
All right, I'm Snoop Dogg. That's what I'm gonna go with.
He was like,
People have
I got pushed into a corner. I'm going with Snoop Dogg. LVP for the show. I gotta go with Shane McMahon. Romeo.
Shane.
This man once told creative, I believe Vince, no, I can't beat the Undertaker. Let the Undertaker win. Tell Triple H, I'll lose to Finn Balor. Yeah, sure. I won't put him over. Edge. Why are you so selfish, Edge? What about you? Really? Come on, Edge. Triple H is an LVP too. He booked this shit.
Oh, my heart. You just, man. I would give you a big hug right now. Jeremy.
Cody Rhodes is pyro guy because that was disappointing as hell. He talked it up like he's about to have the biggest pyro display of all time, and he just had normal fireworks out.
Well, they got the script.
So,
They got the script.
they had that boo boo pyro. Forget the boo boo face. He had the boo boo pyro out there. So I'm gonna go with Cody Rhodes. If you really want to go, just Cody Rhodes in general. This man kept telling us he was gonna win. He was gonna finish the story.
Wow.
You failed, dude. You failed.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Triple H, you shouldn't have been fucking around breaking thrones back in the day.
Do you think Cody knew he was losing when he went out there in the go home promo and was rapping Tupac? Like, this man was unserious for the go home promo on SmackDown. Like, let me throw some California and look, bless California love and Tupac and everything. Unserious go home promo.
He said he wasn't prepared.
Wasn't the report from Fightful that they knew for weeks?
Yeah, that was
WWE knew for weeks.
But WWE knew for weeks. We don't know
Roman
how long
Cody
yeah, we don't know how long Cody. Maybe they're preparing them for legalized betting now that they got the deal done, and they didn't tell them until the day of.
You could win some money on Roman Reigns last night because he was a
I did.
Underdog.
No, I put 100 on Roman Reigns. So.
There you go. There you go. Smart man.
Done. Josh, LVP.
Shane. I'm gonna go with Shane.
Chase.
Finn. Yeah, he got all that paint on for nothing. What a loser.
Professor Chris.
It was gonna go to Shane, but then I saw that tweet go around with Triple H talking about explaining how the story never ends. Triple H is the biggest fucking loser in wrestling. Sid has been saying this for months and months. Triple H does not know how to tell a goddamn story. For that reason, he is the LVP because it's really fucking simple. The good guy has to win on the biggest fucking stage. It doesn't matter how predictable it is. Tell the story the right way. You can't fucking do it. Cody is a wash now. He's been talking shit for months. He lost. It's over. Cody is donezo. He's not coming back from this. Triple H, you can't run a fucking company.
Damn.
I mean, if you talk to Kris from 2003 who lived through the reign of terror and they said this guy booked this finish to WrestleMania 39, you would be like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Exactly.
Booker
This
T.
is 100% Triple H booking. He's like, this is what happened when I was on top. Why aren't we doing it
Yeah,
now?
exactly.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, why is everybody blaming Vince? This is one time I'm not putting any of the blame on this. This is 100% Triple H. Nate, LVP.
First of all, a little pushback on Jeremy trying to, slander that good name of Cody Devontae Gonzalez Rhodes. Like, we not gonna kick this man when he's down. We're not gonna do this to the brother. He had the pyro, and I do like the new touch where he does like the little punch with the last little bit of pyro. Like, okay, Cody, you evolving your entrance for the WWE 2K24 designers. But I feel like also when you talk about that man Cody Devontae Gonzalez Rhodes, you talking about a man, Sid. All victories don't happen in an instant, right? How many years did it take for Cody to finally defeat racism? When he stepped in that ring and talked about his beautiful biracial baby girl, Liberty. It took Cody at least 30 years to defeat racism. So we can wait 90 days or 120 days for him to take this title from Roman Reigns. So Cody is not the LVP. And let me tell you, Sid, how great Cody Rhodes is, despite the fact that you're dragging this man's name through the mud like a pair of truck tires. Despite the way you talked about this man, Cody Rhodes, much like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, he brought those brothers together. He brought you and me together because I am now on board with your Triple H agenda, brother. Triple H
You brought us together.
Is the LVP of WrestleMania.
We the ones, y'all. We the ones.
The agenda is in full effect.
Man, I ain't even picked Triple H, but I'm so happy so many people did. This is the greatest roundtable review we've ever did on this channel. Want to thank each and every one of the people you see on screen. Thank you all in the live chat for joining us. Nate, we'll start with you. Please let the people know where they can follow you on social media and everything you got going on, good sir.
Yes, always a good time to link up with you, Sid, and again, much like the shirt I'm wearing today, Wakanda forever, Devontae forever. This is just a bump in the road, ladies and gentlemen, a bump in the roads, if you will. But always good to talk wrestling and sports with you, Sid. If you want to hear more from me, there's a couple places you can check me out. First of all, the Kings of Sport podcast. We've been doing that since 2013. This is actually our 10-year anniversary of doing the Kings of Sport. We've got a Patreon, so subscribe to the True Heel Heat Patreon. And while you're there, cross that street and subscribe to the Kings of Sport. $5 gets you in the door. I know some of y'all got a little tax money. I know some people might have made a little money last night betting on the Tribal Chief. So you got a little extra jangle in your pockets. Spend $5 at the Kings of Sport Patreon, patreon.com/the Kings of Sport. Sid's been on. Kris has been on. Andrew Thompson's been on. One of these days, we got to get Romeo on to talk about his love for the Queen. But check out the Kings of Sport Patreon. Also, check out Post Wrestling, which is where you can find the NWA podcast, the Nubian Wrestling Advocates, which is hosted by myself, Kris, and Andrew Thompson. Sid was on for our WrestleMania preview, and we had a good time chopping it up with the brother. But for everything else, you can find me on Twitter at @8 MOZAIK at Nate Mosaic. And again, it's been a tough weekend for the culture, but still we rise, Sid. Still we rise, and we're gonna see y'all at SummerSlam when Devontae Gonzalez brings it home.
Man, Samoans is like black people's cousins, so we had a good weekend.
Well, see, and that's true, man, because that's Triple H again. Triple H is putting us against each other when we should all unify and beat down Brock Lesnar. That's where we need to be going.
Definitely,
but I digress.
Follow Nate, support the Kings of Sports NWA podcast, one of the most hilarious gentlemen in wrestling and sports media, and another one right here from the NWA podcast. Professor Kris, let the people know where they can follow you.
Yeah, you can find me on these Twitter streets at KM Easy Does It. I want to thank my homeboys, Andreas Hell and Emilio Sparks, for putting on some good WrestleMania events this weekend that I went to. Unfortunately, I wasn't feeling the greatest, but did what I could. For me, WrestleMania weekend is never about the event itself. I don't regret that I didn't go to WrestleMania this year. I go to WrestleMania events. I go to WrestleMania weekend to see my friends, to see all my colleagues that do this podcasting thing also. So I'm looking forward to doing that in Philadelphia, skipping WrestleMania probably again. But I definitely like seeing my friends. So so this time next year, I hope to see everyone, and hopefully I'm not sick in my hotel room the whole weekend like I was sick in my house this week. So
I hope not. You had one of the greatest rants of all time.
The training part killed me.
Please, Romeo, clip that.
Yes.
Chase Oliver, the #1 representative of the Tribal Chief on this roundtable. Let the people know where they can follow you. You're muted. You're muted. I thought you were muted. It was actually your voice. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, my voice is totally wrecked. You can follow me on Chase Oliver 68. Man, I don't even know how I'm going to talk to my coworkers tomorrow. Fuck this. But you can follow me on Chase Oliver 68 around the point. Steve's kitchen. Steve's gonna force me to talk about Endeavor and shit. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but we're gonna find out.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks for the live interviews in Los Angeles while
Yeah,
you were
man.
drunk and almost got jumped by a Cody Rhodes fan.
Allegedly drunk.
Jeremy Lambert, the Headline King, thank you so much for joining us. Let the people know where they can follow you, sir.
Don't follow me on Twitter. Please follow my co-host on the Spotlight, Steven Jensen, on Twitter @FightTalk_. He's a big Cody Rhodes fan. He's really going through it right now. And you can show up to the Spotlight 9:30 a.m. on Thursday at youtube.com/Fightful to support Steven Jensen and pay for his therapy because he's probably going to need it after
I'll throw a one
after last night. Thank you. Yeah, he takes this as serious as like we might take our sports. Like he grew up with Cody. He told the story. He went to high school with Cody. So this was a tough loss for him last night. So there's that. And watch FMC on Fightful Overbooked Tuesdays at 8:30 a.m. with myself and SP3 because we don't talk any wrestling. We talk basketball, reality television, and other stuff. Right, SP3? We talk other stuff.
Yes, and I can't wait for tomorrow's episode because the Lakers are in 7th place, sir. Let's go. You gonna make some money. I'm gonna be happy. It's gonna be a great day.
That's true. I did bet on the Lakers to make the playoffs, so I will make some money. So I will be happy with that. And thank you to SP3 for having me on. Thank you to all these gentlemen who a lot of you I'm talking to for the first time, but I follow your work, especially Nate and Kris and Andrew on the NWA podcast. I love you guys, so it's cool to like actually talk to you guys. I believe this is our first time. Talk to you on a show. But
won't be the last time.
Yeah, shout out to the GOAT Andrew Thompson as well.
Yeah.
But not for that Omos pick.
And with Jeremy on the Lakers, you should also check out Jeremy's show on Fightful Overbook where he bets on wrestling events. With
I do so well.
See, he's better at basketball, y'all. Josh, thank you so much for joining us for both nights of the WrestleMania reviews and the watch along, sir. Let the people know where they can follow you.
JMPunk321, Twitter and Instagram. I'll be on tonight too for the watch along. Raider Raw Superstars. And I have a few convention appearances that's coming up, so I'll be promoting that along the weeks coming up.
Take a look at this man's art. He is very talented when he's not being too honest here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. The most honest.
Speaking of that, I was at one this weekend, and he was able to take a picture with it. I met Kenny Pickett, the quarterback from the Steelers.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
What was his hand
B1?
size?
What was his hand size?
Yeah.
Very, very good question there. And Romeo, the 24-hour king, now the 73-hour king. I guess you gotta count
3 hours.
Yeah, you're 76-hour king.
We don't stop
thank
there.
you. Yeah, go ahead.
Because today we got a little bonus extra for you on my YouTube channel on the True Hill Heat Twitch, True Hill Heat Gaming on Twitch. Join us at 5 p.m. Eastern. Myself and drunk guy JJ. He's drunk today. He's drinking. He's not sober. We are going to watch some Raw after WrestleMania moments.
Drunk again?
Setting up for the Raw after Mania right here, 8 p.m. Watching that, where Triple H better apologize.
I mean, is he going to show up to work tonight at least?
He better. Also follow me for Romeo Anthony, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
And you can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at True Hill Heat. Like Nate said, patreon.com/True Hill Heat. $3 just to start off. You get exclusive content. The True Hill Prediction Championship, which I'm sure Romeo will put the results out today, but I think you are looking at the two-time champion, ladies and gentlemen, right here. Even without going with my heart and picking Roman Reigns, I still get W's out in these streets. Philly, like my Los Angeles Lakers. Check out this
Yep.
week's True Hill Heat 219 podcast with myself, Miss Chrissy Love, and Ness talking about the full week of wrestling. John Moxley clapping back on CM Punk, all the stuff. You can see our predictions from WrestleMania and Stand and Deliver there. Check out the night one review of WrestleMania 39 that we did yesterday. Great one right there as well. And check out earlier today, I did a special impromptu live stream on Vince McMahon making that money as WWE was sold to Endeavor with Drew Nicholas as well as Joel Pearl. So a lot of great content right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Thank you so much to Chase, Chris, Nate, Josh, Jeremy, Romeo. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been our WWE WrestleMania 39 Night 2 Roundtable Review. We are signing off until next time. Peace.